Hello, friends. Welcome in. Hope you're having a good day so far. Good Saturday. Oh, okay, that's not working yet. I was recording something before, and for some reason that deactivated my camera. Think we should be good? There we go. Hello, friends. Lumi, welcome in. How's you today? No worries. Thank you so much for the lurk, and hope you're having a good weekend. I'm ready. I'm actually really excited to see more Paranormasight. Yesterday, I got completely, hooked, and I've been thinking about the game all day. So today we're gonna continue right where we started. And play some more. Need to find it. I hope the sound settings are saved, so hopefully it's not too loud. But yeah, this is a great game, honestly, so far. I'm just gonna give you a tiny, I guess, lore recap of some sort. It's very hard to recap the game because there's multiple characters that we've gone through. Let me just open the chart, actually, so that I can do a better job. Is it loud? Is it? I think it's fine. Alright, so yesterday this is where we left off, and I will just give you a quick recap in case you weren't here yesterday or anything of the sort. Basically, we have 3 characters unlocked. We have Yusa, we have Sato, and we have Yumiko. Yusa is supposedly our main character, and he believes still that his mother is a mermaid. And he's hired, sort of, his one of his good friends who has a boat to take him diving so that he can go and thank his mother for saving his life, as he believes that that is his mother. Basically, it is believed that both of Yusa's parents died in a shipwreck and that Yusa was the only survivor. And now we're starting to realize that that might not be the case, that his mother also may have survived, which we learned in a different story, different timeline. So he's still gonna go and search for his mother. He also found an undead sort of version of himself in the water. And there's like an urban legend for that as well. Sato is one of the friends who is who is a friend of Yusa, and she's basically going to be helping him on his quest. But Sato and Yusa have their own story, and basically this friend who asks her for advice, she is in love with Sato's. He's not her stepbrother, but he basically is the son of the man who kind of sort of adopted her in a sense, right? And then we have Yumiko, whose story I have done so far. She's basically this investigator for sort of paranormal affairs, which means that she deals with paranormal stuff, but she doesn't have the vision or the sixth sense or whatever. And then she has her helper, this guy, who essentially can use his vision and the things that he's able to do, draw images of people based on their remains and such, to uncover some mysteries and cases. There's currently 2. We found a body of what turned out to be a human who was almost cursed to be a fish, but it was incomplete, so it still has a human head. And there's also some sort of a serial killer who's been dumping bodies into the water, every few years. We don't know if it's the same person or if it's multiple people, but anyway, there's that investigation as well. So this is a Futamigura investigation with the mermaid, and Isashima investigation with the remains. So that's pretty much how it's been divided, and I think the only part of the story that we can do right now is Yusa, and we're gonna figure out and see if he is in any way right when it comes to his mom essentially being a mermaid. So we're gonna continue with this. This is basically underwater gathering or a diving minigame that we can also do, but I'm gonna continue with the story. Summary of previous events. The residents of Kamishima are extremely against Yusa becoming an ama diver. Yusa believes that the hidden secret behind his deceased mother, Mare Minakuchi, is the reason for this, and that it is also the key to finding the mermaid, so he begins a full-scale search. This is his friend. True. If there's any time to ask about your mom, it is now. I think we should see what Old Man Wakamura and Tsuyu have to say about all this too. Yeah, assuming Gran agrees to talk about it anyway. Oh, okay, so we are... Okay, we're doing a lot of research. This is where we are. Yeah, I'll just go in order. Seems like there's a bit of a commotion over there. Maybe they know something about the rumors. Want me to go ask? That'd be great, thanks. Hey, what's up? Did something happen? Oh, if it isn't Azami. I don't know if you've heard, but... 15 minutes later. Okay. Welcome back. Man, once they get started, they never stop talking. Anyway, nothing about your mom, I'm afraid, but they did have some interesting things to say. Interesting things? Do you want the normal news first or the worrying news? Let's go with the normal ones first. So we got a bunch of tourists visiting right now as usual, but what's really got people talking is that there are 2 foreigners among them today. That's probably the investigator and her assistant. Oh really? I heard that the Ise Grand Shrine sees a lot of foreign visitors, but it's unusual for them to come to the outlying islands like this. What's more, it seems that they've been going around asking a bunch of questions. And get this. Apparently, they said they've come here looking for mermaids. Mermaids. Oh, so this is the normal news, right? Curious, right? Yeah, right when we were looking into them too. And that's not all. For some reason, they were asking about your mom, Mara Minakuchi too. What? Why would they foreign visitors be asking about my mom? Seems like people think they're pretty shady. I was told not to go near them and everything. No, I definitely want to hear what they have to say. I wonder where they are now. They're probably still in Kamishima at least. Though the question is, where? Well, I guess if we see 2 Westerners around, we'll know who they are, eh? Apparently they're an older man and a young girl. Oh, never mind. Oh, that's not the investigator and the assistant. That's probably the blonde girl with someone. The little one who we had the speech battle with or something. Yeah, I'm sure we'll know them when we see them. I hope we manage to find them. That's the normal news, right? The worrying news. Let's hear the worrying news. Okay then. There are reports that 2 ama divers have gone missing. Apparently both cases were around Ijika town on the mainland. Oh, were they diving accident or something? I'd guess so. It seems it's still under investigation though. The sea hasn't been that rough lately. But I guess it's a dangerous job, so you never know what might happen. Still, 2 ama divers going missing one after another is pretty unusual, so it does make you wonder. It wasn't long ago that all that talk of human bones being found in the sea near Toba, you know? Moment. I remember that, yeah. Isn't that also near Ijika? Maybe this is why Chia was going on about bad omens. Yeah, it's definitely worrying news. Okay, looks like that's all the info we're going to get around here. Let's try going somewhere else. Okay, so we were here. Let's go there. Well, if it isn't Shotaro, the guy who one of our friends is in love with. Hey there, you two. Just the men I wanted to see. You wouldn't happen to have seen Sato around, would you? Hmm? Sato? No, I haven't seen her today. She was supposed to meet with me earlier, but she never showed. She didn't show? Did something happen? I'm sure it was just because of my old man's ridiculous request earlier. However, I don't know what he was thinking. Still, he really has been acting off lately. I can't believe he'd say something like that. Is something wrong? Oh, pardon me. There's nothing for you to worry about. By the way, Yusa, I hear you've become an ama diver. Yes, but I was told to stop, so I'm currently on extended, if not permanent leave. Ha! Oh, don't let it get to you. I for one think you should go for it. I imagine everyone's been using your mother as an excuse, saying she brought bad luck to the island or some such. Wow, that's exactly it. Do you know why everyone keeps saying Yusa's mom was a bad omen, Shotaro? Ah, yes. What was it again? Something about her being the raging waves curse bearer. What? The what? Raging waves? The raging waves curse bearer. Raging waves is, well, exactly what you think it means, and the curse bearer has the power to call forth a calamity of sea. Kinda doubt she did that, at least on purpose. My old man was going on about it earlier, but it's probably just superstitious nonsense. Don't pay it any mind. But I really should get going. Let me know if you see Sato, okay? See you later. Ugh. I'm pretty curious about what Shotaro said. Yeah, the raging waves curse bear, huh? Did people really see my mom that way? Maybe we should ask Mr. Wakamura what he knows. It's worth a shot at least. Anyway, let's keep moving. Okay, yeah, let's explore everything apart from the human dialogue first. Uh-huh. Oh, she's crying, isn't she? Tsukasa, Sato, what's going on? Well, I'm sorry, I can't explain right now. Tsukasa, come on, we're drawing too much attention here. I think this might be about the love letter. We said that she shouldn't do it, right? Hey! What was that all about? Something was definitely up with them. Yeah, they practically ran off when they saw us. Tsukasa was crying. What the hell could have happened? I'm worried too, but Sato said she can't explain right now. I'm sure that means they'll tell us what's up later. True. We shouldn't grill them if they're not ready to talk about it. Yep. Still, I get the feeling we probably shouldn't tell Shotaro we saw Sato here. Yeah, let's keep this to ourselves until we learn a bit more. So we haven't spoken to anyone just yet. We basically just went to 203 Town Clock and now we're here. Minakuchi residence will have us probably talk to Grandma, I think, and this is Wakamura, so the mayor. So we're about to start actually talking to people, I think. Welcome back, Yuza. Oh, and Azami's here too. Thanks for having me. You two went out diving today, didn't you? How did it go? Did you get a decent haul? About that. I was all set to enjoy the next stage of my life as an ama diver, but I found myself on forced leave the very day of my grand debut. Goodness, did something happen? Yeah, everyone thinks I shouldn't do it, right? Gia and the others said all that? If I were you, I wouldn't pay them any mind. You're not breaking any rules, are you? You sure it's okay? No point fretting over pointless details is what I always say. Grandma. Yusa Minaguchi's paternal grandmother and a former ama diver, born in a Taisho period. She has a relaxed and broad-minded nature, but her tendency not to concern herself with the finer details often makes those around her uneasy. Although now retired due to health issues, she was one of the best ama divers in Kamishima, especially in her younger days, during which she had a fierce rivalry with Chie Toyama, also known as Chie the Mermaid. Later years saw them reconcile, and they could often be seen talking and laughing together at the driver's hut while grilling their catches. She lost her husband in a war when her son Tosuke Minakuchi was 3 years old. That's awful. Working as an ama diver. I must have underestimated just how deep tensions ran. I never imagined they'd still be that hostile towards her. I thought things would have calmed down by now for sure. I'm sorry, Yusa. Okay, Gran. Not being allowed to dive isn't the end of the world or anything. But are you sure there isn't a reason no one wants to talk about Mom? Well, no reason I can think of. I'd like to get to the bottom of things. There, if possible. It's going to affect my life here if I don't, and I'd like to clear Mom's name too. If you don't mind me saying, it does seem pretty weird that people would be this upset just by Yusa coming back to Kamishima. You sure there's not some particular reasons they don't like the thought of him going out diving? Well, no reason I can think of. The exact same answer as before. She's determined to pretend she doesn't know. Gran, I know you've always been reluctant to talk about Mom, but I'm not a child anymore. Isn't it about time you told me the truth? Yeah, we're gonna do that again. But Mom, you really can't think of any reason why everyone had such a problem with Mom. Well, alright, I'll be honest with you. Maru wasn't actually human. Oh, shit. Okay, here we go. Huh? You mean we were right? Are you for real? Wait. Don't tell me you believed that. Can't you boys take a joke? Jesus. I was obviously kidding. Did all that seawater pickle your common sense? Wait, you were joking? Of course I was. I thought I'd mess around a bit and see if I could get a rise out of you. But you sure turned the tables on me. Turning a prank around on me like that. I have nothing more to teach you, young Yusa. Oh, and here I fell for the hook, line, and sinker. It's no good. She's set on giving us a slip. We're not going to get anything more out of her like this. Maybe she'd be more willing to talk if we had more information. How about Tsuyu's condition? Sorry I had to leave early today to go diving. Was everything okay? How are you feeling? I didn't have much pep in my step today, but it's fine because Sato came over this morning. She really is a saint, always helping me out with the cooking and cleaning like that. Again, Gran, I know you're fond of her, but you shouldn't rely on her too much. I didn't know Sato was coming over to help out here. Yeah, she and Gran became friends recently, and before I knew it, she was coming over every so often. Sato's such a nice young lady. She even chats with me about all the latest TV drama developments. She's a bit naive in some ways, but she's a quick learner. Remembers everything I tell her almost instantly. I had no idea. I said she could relax here a while, but she left early today. I'm glad you're having fun, but make sure to thank her properly sometime, alright? Of course. So, how did your dive on the bay go? The dive went perfectly. You may know only as your grandson Yusa, but in truth, I'm a living legend, Kamishima's patron saint of diving. Well now, that sounds impressive. Though I think living legend is a bit much. I'd rather rate you as a legend in training at best. Wow, okay. You could tell all that just with a single glance. I know a greenhorn when I see one. Come back when you've spent a little bit more time in the sea, eh? But I've been forbidden from diving for now, so it seems my life as an ama diver will have to wait. No need to fret. I'm sure that'll sort itself out in no time. I don't know about that. Your grandma's the same as ever, eh? Let's just talk about that. Whatever the case, I'm happy you've chosen to follow in my footsteps. Good thing I thought to keep Mara's outfit, eh? Yeah, but I don't know how I feel about being able to fit in my mom's clothes at this age. You never did get any taller after middle school, did you? Damn, has my constant diet of fresh seafood meant nothing? It's nothing you need to worry about, Yuza. Doesn't make you any less charming. Oh god. I'm always happy to help, you know. There's no need to depend on others so much. I know, but if someone has to help get things done, I'd rather it was a lovely young girl, you know? And besides, she does a much better job at cooking and cleaning than you do, Yuza. See, I do my best to be a good grandson, and this is the thanks I get. Do you have any diving advice for me, Gran? Advice, eh? Let me see. If you're looking to get a higher score in a single dive, you should focus on gathering everything you can, even the small fry. Getting 10 or 15 will earn you a bonus to your final score. If you manage to nab a big catch, switching your focus to bringing in as many small catches as possible should net you a good result. I see. That's a great help. Is this like a tutorial then? Uh-huh. Okay. Okay, so she's gonna give me... Okay, I'm not really... I guess I'm not really that interested in diving. She's basically just giving us tutorials, and I'll open them. Just for the purposes of, you know, having everything. There we go. About Mom. You've heard me say this before, but Mother found it difficult to fit in here on the island. The environment she'd grown up in was quite different, you see. She struggled to adapt to life in a small community. No other reason I can think of for the beef the others had with her. I guess that's it. We're going out again for a bit, Gran. Got it. You two take care, okay? I guess that's it. She doesn't really want to talk to us. This is the Wakamura. We've actually never spoken to him. We've heard of him as he's like this mayor, sort of. Hey, good morning, Maester. Welcome in. How are you today? We're continuing with the story. It's getting quite good. We're not too far in. We're just starting basically to talk to people who are now our only option. We don't really have anyone else to talk to basically progress. So I think Yuza is just trying to learn as much as he can about his mother. It's a good story so far. Lots of reading. Ah, old man Wakamura. You mind if we ask you something real quick? Sure. It's just one thing after another today. What now? Azami and the Minakuchi boy. I heard from Chie you two went out into the bay to do some diving earlier. Well, I've got a bone to pick with you, and there's no time like the present. Okay. No worries, thank you so much for the lurk. Hope you're having a good Saturday. Saturday morning for you, actually. So, boy, you're serious about wanting to become an ama diver. Huh? I thought at first you'd come up here to get my permission to dive, but now I hear you've been running around looking into Mara Minakuchi. What's the meaning of this? Like, it's his mother. We have been asking around, it's not what you think. Let's say it's not what you think. No, it's not like that. I really just want to become an ama diver. A likely story. I'll bet you're looking to clear your ma's name just to get everyone off your back. Am I wrong? Anyway, my point is, oh my god, no more sticking your nose where it don't belong, got it? And most of all, no becoming an ama diver. Why? And why is he being like that? Jesus. So, if I give up on becoming an ama diver and fall in line, will you tell me about my mom? All this sniffing around you're doing sure ain't falling in line, that's for sure. Besides, you should be asking Tsuyu about all this business, not me. She gotta know more than I do. Oh. So Tsuyu really does know more than she's letting on. Batsu about the Raging Curse Bearer. Gran says she doesn't know anything about my mom, though. Ah, so she even said that to you. What do you mean? Oh, I don't know that much myself. Tsuyu's always been tight-lipped about Mara Minakuchi, where she came from, what her deal was. So you've been saying Yuza's mom was to blame for that massive storm, even though you don't know for sure. Tsuyu ain't said nothing to deny it. Speaks for itself, don't it? If you don't like what you're hearing, you should go ask Tsuyu about it yourselves. Mr. Wakamura, what is the Raging Waves curse bearer? What? Where did you hear about that? Ah, it's gonna be Shotaro. Boy could never keep his mouth shut. We heard it's some sort of curse that whips the waves into a frenzy. Does something like that really exist? It does. The Southern Sea disaster 5 years ago was caused by that very same curse. The curse of the raging waves? And your mother, Mara Minakuchi, was the one who brought it down on us. That storm was no natural disaster. It was entirely preventable. How does he know all this? I don't know. I don't believe it. If we'd only stopped her from going to the bay that day, Kamishima wouldn't have had to suffer a tragedy. What? My mom would have never done something like that. Just because you don't remember, don't mean she wasn't up to something out there. As to whether it was intentional or not, who can say? But it don't make a difference either way. I don't get how you can say Miss Mara was a curse bearer of whatever if you didn't know anything about her. Do you have any proof? Proof? I've got the words of a trustworthy sorcerer backing me up. That's all the proof I need. A sorcerer. You're basing all of this on what some woo-woo wizard said. Give me a break. You can believe what you like. Don't change the fact that curses and spirits are as real as anything else. I don't have the time to butt heads with you two. But I know what I'm saying is the honest truth. Looks like there's no point trying to change his mind. Old man is as stubborn as a mule. So you really think there's a storm coming, and the storm is caused by a curse? Of course I do. Some fellas said they were with the police when they were with the police dropped by to warn me about it yesterday, in fact. The police? Why would the police be warning you about a curse? I reckon they were just phonies trying to take advantage of the curse for their own benefit. But even you two must have noticed that rumbling coming from the sea over the last few days, right? That's proof of the curse of the raging waves, and that it's getting stronger. So that's why you've been telling everyone to stop taking their boats out and prepare for a storm. Sure is. Naturally, I can't just come out and say it's because of a curse. There's no telling when or where it'll rear its head. It's too dangerous to go on the water in these circumstances. Even so, we have to take our boats out again eventually. We can't keep off the sea forever. Or damn tootin', which is why I gotta find a way to stop the curse as soon as possible. It's always funny to see these like very like American words in a Japanese way, JRPG or any sort of game. Why would a curse be affecting the sea around here though? Seems like you two still don't believe me. Fine, let's see if this'll change your minds. A long time back, there used to be another island to the south of here. Taishima it was called. Taishima? This is the first I've heard of it. Right, we actually learned about the island yesterday. They say it was devastated by an earthquake and tsunami nearly 400 years ago. But the truth of the matter is that raiders overran the island and slaughtered every last one of the people who lived there. The murdered islanders' resentments gave rise to the curse of the raging waves. Oh! And the resulting storm and tsunami sank the island to the bottom of the sea. Raiders and all. Is that true? That curse is still rolling about in the seas near here to this very day. Just one little push, and that storm could come barreling down on Kamishima next. A push. Something that would awaken the islanders' anger again, such as someone with ties to those raiders, say a descendant of theirs, drawing near to where Taishima was. Oh god. A descendant? Wait, you're saying my mom was a descendant of the raiders who attacked Taishima? Sure am. And as her son, you share her blood. But how could that... Only natural everyone would see you as a bad omen, no? Oh shit, okay. I really didn't want you back on the island, you know. You should be grateful I didn't have you shipped back to the mainland on the next ferry. You're telling me that's how everyone's seen Yusa and his folks all this time. It's fine, Azami. Let's hear the rest of what he has to say. I'm trying to adjust the volume for myself. Sometimes it's too loud, sometimes it's too quiet. Are you saying the reason the curse of the raging waves reawakened is because I came back to Kamishima? Nah, there were signs even before you came back, so the direct cause was probably something else. That still don't change the fact that you're a bad omen, though. Wow. How are you even planning to stop the curse? That ain't none of your concern. You just sit tight at home and stay out of my way. I don't want to hear any more about you going out to sea. Are we clear? And that's all I'm gonna say on the matter. Should be clear now. Just how much of a danger you are to the island. Now get yourselves home and stay put. Seems like that's all we're gonna get out of him. But maybe we could ask Tsuyu about what we just heard. She might be able to tell us more. Okay. Interesting. Oh, was there something else you needed? By the way, Gran, we just went to talk to Mr. Wakamura, and there's something we wanted to ask you about. What was that? My hearing's been a bit off recently, you see. Sure it was. Please don't say that. A lot of Ama divers have ear problems, so it's not really a laughing matter. Someone has no sense of humor. So, do you know that everyone thought Mom was the Raging Waves curse bearer? Wow, I'm impressed you managed to say that without stuttering. So you have heard of it before. Oh drat, me and my big mouth. He said Mom was a descendant from the ones who first called forth the curse or something like that. And that's why everyone is so concerned with what I get up to. Is it true though? Hey Omega, welcome in. The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. Modwise has arrived. Omega, how are you doing today? Welcome in. What's up? The story's getting really, really good in this game. We're just finding out that our mother might have been a curse bearer of this like raging storm or whatever, and everybody thinks that we're the next one. It's kind of like the heir of Slytherin situation. Yeah, I'm doing well. Had a lovely morning. I actually spent some time recording some WoW with Neon, and we're about to finish the story on a beta server. So next week, when the expansion comes out, I'm gonna get to, play and actually see all the cutscenes, because in beta you don't get to see all the cutscenes, you just get to play the game. So I've been working on that, and also on a bunch of World of Warcraft guides, like guides on how to unlock this, how to unlock that, and whatever. So I'm very happy with where I am progress-wise. So yeah, it's been going well. Oh, how did you do it, Omega? I suppose I can tell you two the truth. Finally, someone needs to say something. If I just rest up a bit, I'll be up and around again in no time. I want the two of you to come to the southern bay later, once the sun's gone down. Right, thanks, Gran. You can't tell us about it now? I think it'd be easier to show you what I mean. Okay, we'll be at the bay at sundown, but if you're not feeling up for it, don't push yourself, okay? Oh, we're gonna talk about it more. Oh, it was your modded offline saves. Oh, so you had to like delete them or move them to a different folder. It would be a shame to have to delete all of your saves, right? No need to rush now. I'll tell you everything later. You'll want to prepare yourself for this one. Okay? I don't know how, but... We're going out again for a bit, Gran. Got it. You two take care, okay? Like, where are we going? Mr. Wakamura. No good. He's completely clammed up. I doubt we'll be able to crack that shell. Let's try somewhere else. Ah, so he won't talk to me at all. I mean, do we really want to go? Like, is it sundown? afternoon. Not yet. Oh, looks like Kikuko's back. Wanna try talking to her again? Yeah, let's give it a shot. Ah, okay, I get it. Well, for as long as you can play and enjoy it now, that's what matters. What now? I've had my fill of shady rumors for the day, okay? If you want to talk, let's talk about something fun instead. Something fun. Got any ideas? Well, how about this? Oh god, okay. Well, all of that is fun, right? Really dark. What's your plan for the weekend, though? Well, now that you have your game working, is that what you're gonna be up to? Working as an amateur diver, underwater gathering tips. Maybe if I asked her about the tips. I can like unlock that tutorial. I just want to make sure that everything's unlocked. I'm not that interested in diving, so I'll unlock all tutorials. As to, okay, so that's done. Let's ask her about working as an ama diver. That's fun, right? Did you go diving today as well, Kikuko? Oh, you mean that whole thing about how we're supposed to stay out of the sea? No one I know is paying attention to that. I took a boat out into the bay from the northern shore, but didn't end up with much to show for it. The North Sea, huh? Did anyone go with you? No, I went by myself. Why'd you ask? No particular reason. Just taking notes for later. I see. You're really serious about becoming an ama diver, huh? I'm not reading tutorials, though. It'd be a real shame if you couldn't become one with that enthusiasm. I'd like to help, but the timing's really not the best right now. It's okay. Any information you can give me is help enough. Sorry. I'll help out when things have died down, okay? By the way, Yusa, how much practice did you manage to get in today? Enough to not be a complete beginner anymore, I think. Right on. You definitely have potential, that much is for sure. Very impressive that you can tell all that just by looking at him. I didn't practice at all. Hey, thought of a way I can show my support. If you manage to get a high score of 2,000 points in one diving lesson, I'll give you a special prize. Ah, okay. What wasn't my highest score? I think it was 271. Ooh, I'm afraid you weren't quite up to the snuff. Too bad. I brought shame to my name as the patron saint of diving. Oh god. Is there any more? Once you become a proper diver, I'll tell you all the spots that I know. Cool. Foreign visitors. By the way, have you seen the 2 foreign tourists we were supposed to be visiting today? Wait a sec. Foreign tourists? Here? Today? No way. What did they look like? Did they have blonde hair? Were they cool? I'm not sure. We don't know that much about it. I guess that means you haven't seen them either, though. Yeah, I guess they didn't come this way. Hey now, you two had better not be thinking of following them around to gawp. You didn't want them to think we're all unsophisticated louts out here, do you? Weren't you just asking whether they were cool or not? I don't know what you're talking about. But if you see them, you'll come and tell me, right? Right? Okay, we will. I'm just gonna keep exploring it. Man, I sure hope I run into those foreigners before they leave. She's not even trying to hide what she really thinks anymore. Okay, what else is fun? I'm trying to keep it lighthearted. About those boxes we helped you with just now. What was the delivery everyone was expecting? Yep, the latest Kamishima merch, hot off the presses. Thought so. What do we have this time? You wanna know? I'll bet Azami's keen to find out. He's always wearing that t-shirt. Sure am. Gotta show the world how much I love Kamishima. Tourists seem to love that shirt too. You wearing it all the time should make for great advertising. Anyway, the latest addition to our souvenir lineup is this. What is that? Hand mirror? Bingo! A specially made hand mirror with a Kameshimaru design on the back. So what do you think? It looks great. Why did you go with another hand mirror though? Well, mirrors are a pretty prominent symbol of protection for sailors. Comes from the hope the sea will be as smooth as glass, I guess. There are even regions where mirrors are used as offerings to the sea god. Oh, that's cool. With all these people living on the island and surrounded by the sea, I can see why mirrors are seen as symbols of good fortune here. And it's small enough to fit in your pocket too. Both cute and practical. Wow, you really thought of everything, huh? I've actually been handing these out to amadivers around the island since yesterday. I told them it was a charm, and that they should hang on to it for good luck. Oh, so everyone has one. That's kind of nice. Another way to bring us all together. You're an amadiver too, right, Yusa? Why don't you take one? But Oh, right. I don't know if it's okay to count you as a diver, given what happened earlier. Oh, come on, just let the man dive. Seriously. Like, it really matters. We got plenty, so you should take one too. Thanks. Sorry for the trouble. So now I have a hand mirror. Huh. It's no big deal. I don't want you to feel left out or anything. I guess that means Azami's getting one as well. Here you go. Wow, really? I'm always down for more Kameshi Maru merch. Sure thing. Keep it safe and sound in your pocket, and maybe it'll keep you safe too. Interesting. Okay. Everyone else is really happy to get theirs too. Even your grandma seemed to like it, Yusa. Said she'd be sure to use it from now on. Really? I'm glad to hear it. Now we can talk about Kameshi Maru. Oh yeah, there's something I've been wondering about for a while. Yeah? Were you the one who came up with the idea for Kameshi Maru, Kikuko? Nope, I can't take credit for that one. Right, I forgot you didn't know Yusa. Know what? At one point, the local youth organization was trying to come up with souvenirs ideas for tourists. Tsukasa stepped up and suggested creating a mascot character for Kamishima. She even drew the design for it. Ah, cool. Mascot characters are all the rage nowadays, you know? There are even mascots for the World Expo and the Japan Games. I see. So Tsukasa drew this. I only heard about it after the fact too. I didn't know she was so good at drawing. And it's not just a cute little turtle. The unique look on its face makes a big impression. Yeah, the old guys here didn't seem too sure about it at first though. But thanks to Azami's fervent endorsement, it ended up making the cut. I just didn't want Tsukasa's design to go to waste, you know? She put a lot of effort into it. I think it's a great mascot too, for what it's worth. How interesting. I'm glad I asked. Oh, cool. Hey, Tasman, welcome in. What's up? It's so cute though, isn't it? The look looks kind of bored, if you ask me. But, here we are. Tasman, have you played Paranormasight? Great games. The new one just came out. A mascot character created especially for Kamishima as part of the local youth organization efforts to boost the island's economy and strengthen the community. The design selected for the project was envisioned by Tsukasa Awao, a local high school student. No, they're really good. They're visual novels, but kind of like horror thriller. So we're essentially solving a few mysteries at the moment. And Yusa is our main character, who's just talking to his friends right now and trying to basically figure out who cursed the island. So the island basically is suffering from this curse where there's constant like shipwrecks and such every few years, and they can't figure out who's sending the curse. That's pretty much the gist of this mini story that we're doing. Oh, I got back into speedrunning. What have you been speedrunning lately? As a symbol of Kamishima, it can be seen on as a wide variety of merchandise sold in shops on the island, including keychains, flags, and hand towels. A surprising number of tourists have found themselves charmed by the turtle character's peculiar, sleepy expression. Enough so that its merchandise is offered in short supply. I see. Oh, that's actually really cool. How long is the speedrun? I've never played Danganronpa even casually, so I don't know anything about the game. Let's ask more. There's a bunch of Kameshi Maru merch now. Keychains, notepads, you name it. If you want any, just let me know. Can I get some? Shall we talk about the missing amadivers? Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Have you heard about the 2 amadivers from the mainland who went missing? Of course I have. They evidently disappeared one right after another. Oh, an hour is decent. That's fine, yeah. What's the advantage? Is it loading times or something like that? Yeah, I hate it when that happens and you already own the game on a different console. I'm kind of similar with Metaphor Regatazio. I've been actually learning that speedrun. And what sucks is on PC, there's a lot of like add-ons to get and just basically settings to tweak. Whereas on PlayStation, you just kind of, run it and that's it. So I was, I was tempted to get it on PlayStation and just not have to install these like stability mods and such. Of course I have. They evidently disappeared one right after the other. I guess it's a reminder of just how dangerous the sea can be. Hearing news like this is always pretty sobering. Do you think they were just accidents? Well, some of the other divers think it's a sign that something bad's gonna happen. But you should probably keep quiet about this, Yuza. If you start bringing it up, people will get suspicious. That's probably true, yeah. Personally, though, I think that they were probably just unfortunate accidents. I see. But we're still gonna dig into it. I hope they're both found safe and sound. Have you ever heard of the Curse of the Raging Waves? Nope, never heard of it. What is it? Well, we went to talk to Mr. Wakamura just now. Wait, so you mean the disaster 5 years ago was caused by some curse, and that same curse is going to cause the same thing to happen again? Oh, yeah, I understand that, Tasman. I missed that in so many runs as well. It's different. Some games are just better and more fun to run on consoles or on PC. It sucks when there's a difference like that. Completely understandable. I'm tempted to run Metaphor on PlayStation if there's like a sale or something, because there's far less like options that you have to kind of pick from and such. I don't know. We'll see. The disaster 5 years ago was caused by some curse, and that same curse is going to cause the same thing to happen again. So it seems. The hell is he on about? Trying to pass things off as some occult tribe? Don't tell me you two believe in this rubbish. Well, it did seem pretty believable. Oh, please. He's obviously feeding you a lot of nonsense. I don't know if you two are aware, but there are rumors the old man's been really into the shady sorcerer recently. A sorcerer? Yeah, some sort of miracle worker over in Tokyo or something. Apparently he'll do anything, they say. That's probably why he's going on about these curses and stuff. Shitara did say he's been behaving oddly recently. Even Shitara thinks so. Then that's gotta be it. So, it's just a hoax. I don't know, I kinda doubt it, but we'll see. You shouldn't pay any mind to that hogwash. Besides, doesn't it bother you that he's trying to pin the disaster on some sort of crazy curse? Yeah. I think there's nothing to talk to her about anymore. Oh, was that all? I'll be getting back to work then. Oh, is it? Is it on sale on PlayStation as well? I actually haven't checked. 50%? Really? On PlayStation Store? Or PC? Mr. Wakamura. A PlayStation. Oh, I see. Oh, that would be so nice. I'll actually look into that. No good. He's completely clammed up. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna talk to us. Unfortunate. Let's see. Was there something I needed? No, I don't think so. Ah, I see. And like the normal version isn't on sale? I understand. So wait, if you own the game already, you can't get another version? Ah, it doesn't show you the standard. Right, I see. I'll make sure to check. Because I only need it for speedrunning. I don't need anything else on console. Ah, Chie! There we go. Found her. You two again, still wandering around poking your noses into businesses you shouldn't be? We're gonna continue with Chia. I'm just gonna take a quick bathroom break. I'll be right back. Ads are actually about to roll very, very soon, so I'll just take advantage of that. Oh, there we go. There's ads. Yeah, see you in a bit. Actually didn't even mute the mic. Could have heard my kettle and stuff. I do have some food. I do want to make sure I can keep going today. I don't know if we're gonna finish the game. Yesterday we put a good, like, 7 hours into it. Don't know how long it is, but we'll try. We'll do our best. I don't think it's gonna be like a 20-hour game or something, but we'll see. I think 20 hours is if you really want to be a completionist with it. What is it? My doggo. He thinks he's some big threat. He sat on the couch barking at everyone who walks by. Alright, let's go. You two again. Still wandering around poking your noses into business you shouldn't be. How's about you stop messing around and just give up already? Nothing you do is gonna make me change my mind. I'm saying this for your sake as much as anyone else's. Minakuchi boy. Try to understand my position, eh? For my sake. You managed to survive that disaster 5 years ago. Some would call it a miracle even. It wouldn't do to see that miracle go to waste, would it? Maybe I flew off the handle a bit earlier. Ended up coming off a bit stronger than I meant to. I can't tell if you anything about your mother. But believe me when I say, it's best you let the sleeping dogs lie. I'm gonna get the tips from her. Okay, where'd you go diving today? Well, oh, she doesn't want to give me tips, but she's actually, you know, there's actually a story. Yuzo wanted a particular spot, so we went about 5 kilometers south of the island. Say what? What were you thinking diving in the Southern Sea of all places? You've got even less sense than I thought. You know full well that everyone avoids that area because of the disaster 5 years ago. Yeah, I know. But Azami and I both lost family in that disaster too. We wanted to take the chance to pay our respects. Well, I can't say I don't get how you feel. But that strange rumbling I told you about is coming from the south. Just do me a favor and stay away from the sea, alright? Alright. And that's her for gathering tips. Ain't gonna get nothing from me there. Okay. How about missing Amadivers? Chia, we heard that 2 Amadivers from the mainland went missing in some sort of accident. You heard right. Do you think that's a bad omen as well? I do. I'm well aware of just how dangerous the sea can be. But 2 divers getting caught up in accidents and going missing one after another. That tells me there's something off with the sea itself. Something's going on in the sea around these parts, mark my words. Okay. Oh, I almost forgot to ask. Have the 2 foreign tourists come by here at all? Sure did. Saw them just now, actually. What? Do you know where they went? Looked like they were headed to the lighthouse from what I could tell. The lighthouse, huh? Gotcha. A lighthouse on the eastern side of Kamishima. The narrow passage between Kapeiraga and Kamishima has long been known to be difficult to navigate, particularly at night. So much so that it's been featured alongside the whirlpools of Awa and the Ondo no Seta Strait in sailors' songs about the most feared waterways. Following its construction in the Meiji era, spurred by reports of vanishing striking reefs in the area, the lighthouse has continued to stand watch over the waters of the island, ensuring safe passage to all who travel them. Don't go following them around just because we don't see many foreign folks around these parts, you hear? Is this about how Yusa's mom caused that curse? The curse of the raging waves or whatever? So you already know. Heard it from Shinobu, I'll wager. Do you believe in this curse, Miss Chie? Yes, I do. At the very least, I know it's not some old wives' tale. I'm not saying you have to believe it too, though. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to talk bad about the woman or anything, but there was obviously something up with Madame Minakuchi 5 years back. She always seemed anxious and on edge, and then the disaster struck. Maybe I'm just reading too much into it, but I can't shake these doubts of mine either. We're all done here? Yuji should leave dealing with the island matters to Shinobu from now on. Keep your heads down and stay out of trouble, you hear? Yeah. Well, that was something. She isn't a bad person at heart, but she sure is stubborn. Yeah. So now we can go to the lighthouse. Okay, looks like we found them. That looks like them, alright. Excuse me. The girl we know, the guy we don't know yet. You rang? Oh god. Do my eyes deceive me? Could these young islanders have come all the way here to talk to us? Welcome. Welcome to Kamishima Lighthouse. There's not much here, but please make yourselves at home. Thanks for having us? Dude, we live here. What? Why is he the one welcoming us? It's because most people have been avoiding him. He's excited someone finally wants to talk. Oh. Anyway, we were wondering if you could spare a moment to talk? Wait, before you do, shall we play a game? I want to guess why you've come to talk to us. May I? Sure. It's probably to assume you know we've been making the rounds here asking questions. Indeed, it was most likely hearing such news that incited you to climb all the way up here to meet us, which means... I've got it. We've almost certainly done something to offend the good people of this island, committed some manner of ill-mannered faux pas. You must have come to tell us that the lighthouse is off limits to everyone except authorized personnel. Actually, no. What the hell? Oh, this is so funny. It's Kamishima, I think. So yeah, it reminded me at first of Persona 5 as well. Now it's honestly such a charming game, and it's a cool mystery. It's just it sucks that it can't be completed in one sitting, because you know you watch the characters and you get invested and whatnot, or you see them on day 2 and you're like, who are these people? But luckily I'm doing the YouTube playthrough as well. But yeah, such a good game. The bitter taste of failure. And thus does my stint as aspiring detective end in ignominy. I'd say that the whole show was kind of a social faux pas, at least. Don't worry, he's always like this. He'll bounce back in no time. I see. He must be pretty resilient. Since you didn't guess right, do you mind if I continue? Oh ho! Asking my permission, are we? What is wrong with him? Yeah, it does sound a bit like Hamashida, doesn't it? Thank you. Yes, my name is Arnav Barnum. Arnav Barnum. Okay. You can call me Abby, as a sign of our newfound friendship, and also because I like it better. Okay, Abby. Got it. Okay then, Abby. Such a pleasing ring to it. And what can I do for you, young man? Would this girl be your daughter? Not quite. Mr. I'm gonna say Cersei. Lunar Light is here as a distant relative of mine. Yes, Miss Cersei Lunar Light would be me. Nice to meet you. Cersei, the tourist, right? We fought her yesterday in a different timeline. I'm Yusa Minakuchi, a resident of Kamishima. And this is Azami Kumoi. Nice to meet you. Yusa and Azami, eh? The pleasure is mine. He says, wait, Minakuchi. About them, reason for visiting. Also, he knows something about our family or mom or something. So, what brings you to Kamishima today? I'm glad you asked, young Yusa. We were hoping to pick your brains on a topic as well. There wouldn't happen to be any legends concerning mermaids passed down on this island, would there? So we really are looking for mermaids. Oh, indeed we are. You know what mermaids are, yes? I refer, of course, to the mythical half-human, half-fish creature. Sure, we know that much at least. And then I may be able to provide a modicum of additional information on the subject. Additional information? Well, you may be aware that's the typical Western mermaid. It's envisioned as having the lower half of a fish and the top half of a human. Aha, so this is solving our debate from yesterday. It is thought that this interpretation has its origins in another sea monster, the sirens of Greek mythology. Their claim to fame is surfacing near reefs and bewitching sailors with their beautiful voices. Andersen's fairy tale, The Little Mermaid, is a famous example of this type of mermaid. Indeed, it caused this image to enter common knowledge. Yeah, that's what comes to mind when I think of mermaids too. A typical mermaid, right? Ah, but the mermaid that appears in ancient Japanese folklore is quite different. Oh, Jesus Christ. This picture again. This mermaid has only the head of a human, with the rest of its body being a fish. It appears it was seen more as an evil spirit or a yokai in nature. That's pretty much the lady that we met, but it was said that it was like part of a curse and not the actual mermaid. The legend that eating its flesh will grant immortality also implies that it was seen as more fish than human. Sure, that makes sense. People would definitely think twice about eating something that looked human, right? Well, it has a human head. This isn't to say there's a difference in Eastern and Western interpretation of mermaids, mind you. One could rather assume that there are several different types of creature that can be encompassed by the term mermaid. After all, there were also reports of more humanoid or demi-human mermaids being sighted in Japan in later years. Different types of mermaids, huh? Personally, I think lumping the two under the same appellation is a mistake. After all, they're two different creatures that just happen to share the same trait of being half fish, half human. It leads to misunderstandings when conflicting stories get passed down, and then the whole concept gets treated as occult malarkey. I think I see what you mean. Listening to you talk about them, it sounds like you believe mermaids really exist, Abby. Of course I do. After all, I didn't come to research mermaids. I came to look for mermaids. Bum bum bum. Or bum bum bum. Oh god, this is so very compelling. Isn't it? I think this is the first time someone's agreed with me on the matter. Now who is you? Oh ho, so we've piqued your interest, have we? I'm a fantasy writer by trade, with a reach spanning the Atlantic, from Bonnie England to vast America. Not that any of his books sell at all. Wow. That's right. For some reason, no one buys my novels. Quite the mystery, no? Alas, a fantasy writer has no need for mysteries. What's that? I earn more as an occult writer, so that might as well be my main job by now? Oh, jeez. Humbug, I say. Stick a sock in it and mind your own beeswax. Fucking hell. I see. In any case, I'm just your average free spirit. Footloose, fancy-free and all that. What's that? You're wondering if my bohemian nature is the reason I remain unattached and unwed? Humbug, I say. Stick a sock in it and mind your own beeswax. You already said that. You seem to be enjoying yourself. I am indeed. Why not give it a try yourself? 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm ready now. I'm not ready. Oh, I'm good actually, thanks. Impressive as it is, I can see doing this pose 3 times might have been a bit much. Yes, maybe. This guy sure is hard to keep up with. At any rate, I recently found myself with a pressing need to visit your fair country for research. Hey, Skybird, welcome in. What's up? How are you today? How's Saturday treating you? We didn't learn much as of yet. Basically, this guy is claiming that all of our little mermaids, like both the one that only has the head of a human and half fish, half human, that they're both mermaids, and doesn't think that there's a curse, apparently. But he thinks that those are also mermaids as well. Not too bad. Yeah, we'll take that. We'll take that. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is. No one will tell us anything about our mother just yet. So we're just basically beginning. We haven't found out anything of concern. Fortunately, young Cersei here happened to be studying in Japan and kindly agreed to accompany me as my guide. Your guide. Indeed, she's quite the enthusiast when it comes to Japanese folklore and occult phenomena, and such a pleasure to converse with as well. Iseshima is a deeply spiritual region, full of sacred places I've always wanted to visit. We traveled around the mainland before coming here, but this place stands above and beyond. My nose almost started bleeding from the exhilaration, oh god. Past recollection chapter, okay. It will unlock once all conditions are met. Okay. In fact, I think it did a bit. It must have been really excited, huh? Is it really that special compared to other places? Of course. It wasn't called the land whither repair the waves from the eternal world for nothing, you know? Didn't they say that the eternal world is basically where the mermaids come from? I think that's what they said yesterday, if I'm understanding this correctly. The land whither what? What's this? We've never heard it called that? It said that Yamato Hime no Mikoto, the empress of ancient Japan, was searching for a suitable place to enshrine Amaterasu 2,000 years ago. She received a divine revelation that the waves around Ise province came from the eternal world, which led her to establish the Ise Grand Shrine. This eternal world is a separate realm from the world in which we live. Some describe it as a perpetual paradise. Well, you're gonna have to slow down here a bit. What does that mean exactly? We learned about it in our local history classes, remember? He probably doesn't. Yeah, I think I remember. Sort of. Basically, Ise is such a sacred place, even the ancient gods took a liking to it, right? Exactly. It has such an enchanting vibe. This being here is enough to have my nose gushing all day long. Why is she talking about her nose gushing and bleeding all the time? But the residents wouldn't be feeling too hot if our noses kept bleeding all the time. One thing's for sure though, you seem to really like Iseshima. As a local, I'm super happy to hear that. Okay. Oh, we have a... Oh, okay, so we have news on both. 40 years old, author, occult journalist. Nickname Avi. A fantasy author and occult journalist whose books are published in both America and England. But they apparently don't sell well. Unmarried. He has apparently come to Japan in search of mermaids. Cersei. Exchange student. 15 years old. Oh, I thought she was way younger. A young girl from England, currently on exchange in Japan. She seems to harbor an ardent interest in Japanese folklore and occult stories. A sudden nosebleed is a common visual trope representing intense sexual arousal, excitement, or attraction. Often triggered by seeing an attractive character or experiencing dirty thoughts, the blood usually gushes out violently. Really? As comedic exaggeration of the character's overwhelming emotional or physical reaction. I actually did not know that. Oh. That makes this kind of unnerving. Yeah, we'll see what she means, right? Let's finish with about them, hopefully. Will you be staying on Kamishita tonight? If you need somewhere to stay, I know a few places. We've actually booked a guest house back on the mainland. We'll be taking the last ferry back after this. Oh, I guess you don't have much time left then, huh? And that brings me to my next question. You wouldn't happen to have any local info on mermaids, do you? Except that he thinks that his mom is one. God. Unfortunately, I've never heard of any folklore about mermaids here. I see. That would align with the answers we've received to our other inquiries thus far. And it would seem our investigation has branded us as certified weirdos. Most everyone now turns us a blind eye as well as a deaf ear. Well, it's probably not just because of that. I mean, isn't there supposed to be a huge occult craze going in Japan right now? I assumed everyone would be jumping at the chance to discuss cryptids. Pretty sure that's just a small group of enthusiasts getting worked up. A very vocal minority, yeah? If you're that interested in the occult, what brought you all the way to Kamishima? Do you have a reason to believe the mermaids could be found here? Could be your friend here, as I was gonna say. An excellent question. I do indeed. More precisely, I had reason to believe they could be found around Taishima, an island that no longer exists. Taishima? Indeed. I obtained this information through personal research, so I imagine it's not common knowledge. But some say there were 3 mermaids, Sobe, Nagame, and Hayase, living in the seas around Taishima 400 or so years ago. 3 of them, and you even know their names. We didn't even know Taishima existed until today. It seems a deliberate decision was made not to leave any records of Taishima's existence, which would obviously lead one to believe something is being concealed. On that note, did you know that records remain of several other sightings of mermaids in Ise? What? Really? That's right. Legends about mermaids exist throughout Japan, and this region is no exception. In particular, there are reports of mermaids having been discovered in Tsu City and Ise City, both of which border Ise Bay. I had no idea. I've jotted down some notes on these legends, so please take a look if you're interested. Sure. The Mermaids of Betsuho. According to the Kokon Chomonju, an anthology of spoken stories compiled in the 13th century, these mermaids were discovered caught in a fisherman's net in Betsuho in Ise province. There are a total of 6 mermaid sightings mentioned in the Kagenki, the ancient annals of Horyuji Temple, covering the later half of Kamagura period to Nankobucho period. There was a mermaid sighting in Futami Ice province in the 2nd year of Enwood era. The mermaid was subsequently named Enmeiju, a name composed of characters affiliated with long life. Although the exact time period is unclear, legend tell of a girl named Osata from Kusawa in Ano town of Age District, or Age District, who became immortal after eating the flesh of a mermaid and went on to become Yao Bikumi, a nun who lived for 800 years. Oh god. Thanks, this is all very interesting. So, which type of mermaid are you looking for, Avi? It seems a lot of the mermaid sightings around Ise were fish mermaids. Fish mermaids? But the mermaids sighted around Taishima were apparently the human mermaid sort. So it starts to reason that any mermaids around here would be human mermaids as well. By human mermaids, you mean the sort that are closer to human than fish, right? Indeed. The ones closer to fish, meanwhile, are known as fish mermaids. But that's what I call them anyway. I see. I don't know whether that makes it easier to understand or more complicated. That means that it might not be a curse, because that's what we were thinking. We'll see. In that case, mermaids whose flesh would make you immortal if you eat it would have to be fish mermaids then, right? Another fine question. It is indeed difficult to imagine people eating the flesh of human mermaids. Yeah, that's kind of disgusting. But I personally believe that human mermaids also have the power to bestow immortality on people. Oh, I wonder. How about another refresher on myth and legend? Are either of you familiar with a place named Ryugu? Ryugu. It's related to the Ryugu Palace that appears in the tale of Urashima Taro. Oh my god. Just so. Why does he do that? It could well be considered the inspiration for the undersea palace in a familiar fairy tale. Well, I was right. Oh, fuck. Tale of Urashima Taro. Long, long ago, a youth by the name of Urashima Taro lived in a village by the sea. One day, upon rescuing a sea turtle that was being bullied on the beach, Taro was amazed when the turtle thanked him by inviting him to Ryugu Palace, the legendary undersea palace of the Dragon King, as a token of gratitude for his kindness. Ryugu Palace was a wondrous place, with a beauty unlike anything found on the surface world. The princess of Ryugu Palace, Otodime, received him with great hospitality. Taro spent his days treated to elegant dances performed by sea breams and flounders, and satisfied by extravagant feasts, spending his days as if in a dream. After spending some time enjoying his luxurious lifestyle, Taro began to miss his village. He asked Otohime for permission to return home, and although sad to see him go, the princess granted him his request. As a parting gift, she handed him a mysterious box, a tamatebako, and warned him never to open it. Thinking this strange, but agreeing to Otohime's request nonetheless, Taro accepted the tamebako and set out back towards his village on Turtleback. Now, I don't want to guess too much, but I think Mare, if that's her in the city, was seen holding a wooden box of some sort. I don't know if this is the same box that they talked about then. Upon reaching his village, Taro realized everything was different. The house he had lived in was gone, and there were no sign of his parents or anyone he had known. What he had believed to be just a short sojourn in Ryugu Palace had in fact been several hundred years on the surface, and the village and people he had once known were no more. That's heartbreaking. Overcome with despair, Taro turned to the tamatebako he had been gifted in a final grasp at hope. As he opened the box, a thick white smoke engulfed him, and in that instant, the hundreds of years that had passed caught up with him, turning him into an old man. Okay. The Ryu dragon surely refers to the god of the sea. It's not uncommon for deities associated with water to be serpentine in nature. This would then make Ryugu the palace where the god of the sea resides, the palace of the Dragon King. I had no idea Ryugu Palace was based on something else. Ryugu is known for being home to the priestesses who attend the god of the sea. These women are collectively referred to as Otohime. Yeah, Princess Otohime appeared in a tale of Urashima Taro, didn't she? Yeah, but she was described as the ruler of Ryugu Palace in the fairy tale. So she was actually a priestess? Think so. A slight embellishment to make for a more interesting story. I assume. Hardly uncommon. There's also another interesting theory about the Otohime of Ryugu. It is said that they were half fish, half human women in appearance. In other words, they were mermaids. Oh, but what's that I hear that you say? That's all well and good, but where is this Ryugu place anyway? You want to know? You're dying to know, aren't you? Very well. Take it away, Cersei. Alright, as a matter of fact, Ryugu is said to be the exact same place as the eternal world I mentioned earlier. Really? In other words, the sea around Ise, which is said to consist of waves from the eternal world, is in fact the location of Ryugu. And Ryugu is home to the Otohime mermaids, right? That's right. What's more, is a priestess who live in a land said to be eternal paradise. It wouldn't be that odd if they had some sort of power to grant immortality to humans. Even in the state of Urashima Taro, Princess Otohime displayed an ability to influence the physical age of other people using the tamatebako. In the story, if the story has its basis in the ability of mermaids to influence human lifespans, that power of hers makes a lot more sense, don't you think? I do wonder if that's the whole, if that's something that happened to Yusa's mom as well, because she was carrying this box and she did look much older than, I don't know, maybe she was like with the mermaids for, 5 years or something. So maybe she opened her box or something like that. I see. So that's why you think human mermaids are able to grant immortality even without eating their flesh. You see? Intriguing, is it not? But how would you even get to Ryugu? Aha! What creature was responsible for bringing Urashima Taro to Ryugu in the eponymous tale? That's right, a turtle, or kame. And what is the name of the island we're currently standing upon? Kamishima, right. There you have the reason for our visit. So you believe there might be some clue as to how to get to Ryugu hidden on Kamishima. Could Kamishima really be some sort of link to Ryugu? Kind of a cool story, isn't it? Developing really well. Tales of Ryugu, the abode of the god of the sea, exist in every area of Japan. Hoisted by some theories to be the eternal world of legend, it is said to be a perpetual paradise connected to this world via the seabed that bestows everlasting youth and unnatural longevity to those who live there. Some tales also equate Ryugu with the underworld, the place where the dead journey after death. The tale of Urashima Taro, about a youth who was invited to the seafloor palace of Ryugu as thanks for rescuing a turtle, led to Ryugu's name becoming widely known throughout the country. In this story, a princess called Otohime serves as a ruler of Ryugu Palace, but Otohime originally referred to priestesses serving the god of the sea, who presided over Ryugu. By the way, Yuza. Yes? You said your name was Yuza Minakuchi, correct? Yes, that's right. Are you familiar with an individual by the name of Maru Minakuchi? Yeah, that's my mom. Isn't that? Huh? Maru Minakuchi was my mom. She passed away in an accident 5 years ago. Oh, I apologize for the indiscretion. My condolences. 5 years ago. You wouldn't happen to have inherited anything from your mother, would you? No, but what do you mean? What do you know about my mom? Does she have led some sort of connection to mermaids? Well, this is more related to my personal research, so I can't say for sure. Well, he has to say something, right? Please tell me. I'm also looking for mermaids. If you know anything, I have to know. Well now, you've certainly grown lively all of a sudden. Let's calm down a bit, Regrettably, the only lead I have is a rumor that suggests some connection between mermaids and Maru Minakuchi. Oh god. A rumor? From where? Oh, you want to know? Well, I suppose you would, wouldn't you? Very well, I'll tell you. I heard it from a descendant of the islanders who used to call Taishima home. That's interesting because in the previous dialogue we found out that she may be the descendant as well. What? So someone survived the disaster that sunk Taishima, and their descendants are still around today? Long story short, yes. Isn't it fascinating? This particular individual was also the one who told me about the 3 mermaids who were said to have lived on Taishima. I see. By the by, if you're also seeking mermaids, you must have some information of your own, yes? Surely this one-sided exchange of knowledge wounds your good conscience. Allow me to remedy that by accepting any information you have. Yuza? Yep, this is our best lead yet. Let's share what information we can. Oh my god, do I have to tell him? You see? Oh, so you were saved by a mermaid during the disaster 5 years ago. And you believe the mermaid in question might have been your mother? Yeah, I know it sounds pretty far-fetched. I know some of it probably comes from the wanting her to still be alive. Oh no, on the contrary. I find it very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Why, you ask? Why? There's a rumor about one of the 3 mermaids who used to live around Taishima. They say she took on human form several decades ago and has lived among humans ever since. What? No way. That would fit perfectly with our theory. Color me impressed as well. This is my surprised face, by the way. But it would be very interesting if that was the case. Ugh. Sorry, Abby. I think I'm at my limit. Oh my, that bad, is it? Is something wrong? My apologies. As much as I wish we could talk more, it would appear we're out of time. I'm afraid we must bid you goodbye for today. Okay. Now that you mention it, if you are looking to make this the last ferry, you probably want to be heading back soon. Wait, this is the most promising lead we've found. If you could just stay a bit longer. Believe me, I'd love to continue our chat too. But the little lady's been feeling a bit under the weather ever since arriving here, you see. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. You're not going to get another nosebleed. If you're feeling that bad, maybe you should stay for the night after all. Thank you. I'm just about holding the nosebleed in. That's actually really weird and creepy. Especially after what you said about the mermaids. Really weird. But I really should get off the island as soon as possible. Ever since arriving here, I've had this feeling that some terrible calamity is approaching. A calamity? You can't mean... I forgot to mention, young Circe here is a bit sensitive to things in that sphere, if you catch my drift. Oh, okay, but... As reluctant as I am to part ways, we really must go. Many thanks for the information you shared, and never fear, we'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow? Yuza? Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. Abby! You rang? Oh god. If you happen to find any more leads on mermaids today, could you let me know as soon as possible, please? Hey, good morning! How are you, Gloopy? Welcome in. Glad to hear that. I didn't expect you to be all that interested, he says. Very well. If I hear anything else, I'll be sure to let you know. If you could give me your contact information, perhaps. Thank you. Okay. Man, that sure was a stroke of good luck. I never thought they'd have so much info on us. We managed to learn a lot, but it seems like getting any more from them today will be a bit tough. I really need that information by tomorrow, though. I don't know who's gonna want to talk to me now. Nothing really. Nothing here. Let's go in order. I don't know if we're stuck. Looks like the sun is starting to set. Why don't we go over what we learned so far? Good idea. First, oh, this is so cool. It's actually like a little recap. We learned that my mom was considered cursed by some of the islanders. Yeah, they said she was descended from the person who originally called forth the curse of the raging waves or something like that. And because he thinks the curse is about to break out again, Mr. Wakamura is currently trying to find a way to stop it. Not everyone on the island believes in it, though. Kikuko and Shotaro didn't seem to believe in it at all yet. We also managed to speak with those two foreigners who were looking for mermaids. They were full of surprises. And there's also that rumor about mermaids living near Taishima, a nearby island that was destroyed, and that one of them assumed human form. I never thought we'd find something to support the idea that my mom might have been a mermaid. Whatever else we may have learned from this, the mermaid that I encountered 5 years ago may well have been one of those three living near Taishima. Hey Cam, welcome in. What's up? Doing well today. The story's getting so good. We're actually getting a full like recap of like the events so far, and it's been quite nice. Holy shit! Like I didn't expect the story was gonna like ramp up like that. Like I only just started today. How are you? How's your Saturday? We also got some hints about where those mermaids might have come from. Yeah, there's a good chance they originally came from an otherworldly place called Ryugu. If they're in a place like that, I don't see how we could ever get to them though. Yeah, we'll see. What that girl said about calamity approaching is bothering me a bit too. There's no way she should know about the curse of the raging waves, right? Do you think that means the curse is real after all? Oh! Azami, I just realized something. Yeah? If the curse of the raging waves is in danger of breaking out again, then wouldn't that mean its curse bearer is still around today? Probably. Oh damn, you're right. But your mom is, well, not with us anymore. Mr. Wakamura seems to think I wasn't the direct cause of the curse reappearing too. Yeah, he'd probably be coming down on you harder if he thought you were. So the person responsible would be someone who wasn't here 5 years ago, but is here now. Well, assuming the curse is real anyway. Yeah. Still, I really do wonder if my mom had some sort of link with mermaids. I hope whatever Gran has to tell us sheds some light on things. You mean what she's planning to tell us at the bay tonight, yeah? Oh yeah, we're going there as well. What's wrong? There's a bunch of noise coming from Chuo Street. I think I heard screaming. Let's go. Oh god. The face. Why? Why? What the fuck is happening? What happened? What's wrong? Tsukasa, what is going on? I don't... We were just... But then Sato just... Yusa, look over there. What? Oh. Oh, what is it? Oh! What the fuck? Oh, was she slashed as well? Sato, there's blood everywhere. What happened? She's not moving. Don't tell me she's dead. Sato just suddenly, but then she got cut down. Whatever it was, we gotta get her to the clinic. Wait, what's happening? Sato, her wound is... The wound is gone? What the fuck? Sato, are you okay? Sato, would this mean that she has the immortality thing? What the fuck? Into Sato. Oh, Sato. Oh, is she a... Wait. Let me take a look at something. Where is that? I think I remember that, but... Okay, Anna Town's Yao Bikuni. Although the exact time period is unclear, legends tell of a girl named Osato, and we call her Sato, right? From Kusawa in Anna Town of Agi District, who became immortal after eating the flesh of a mermaid, and went on to become Yao Bikuni, a nun who lived for 800 years. But how would she be here in this form? What? What the hell? How? Time to meet up. What the fuck happened? She's definitely not dead. Sato Shiranami was mysteriously cut down, yet moments later she resurrected before her friend's very eyes. As confusion engulfs the island, Yuza and Azami head out to meet Yuza's grandmother, Tsuyu, at the appointed time and place. Several hours later. Sorry to keep you waiting, Yuza. It's nearly time to meet up with Tsuyu, yeah? Let's head that way. Right. Fucking hell. The whole island was in an uproar after that. We didn't even get to ask Sato what happened. Yeah, apparently she shut herself up in her room at the Wakamuras and hasn't come out since. What the hell was that though? And how'd she even get hurt like that in the first place? Some of the islanders were kicking up a real fuss, saying that Sato isn't human, that she's something evil, that should be chased off the island. But everyone settled down after Mr. Wakamura stepped in and promised to handle it. Everyone on the island's probably heard about it by now though. It'll be all anyone can think about for a while yet. Did you go back home afterwards, Yusa? No, I stayed out to do some digging. Gran wasn't at home anyway. She hasn't recovered enough to be able to move around all that much though, so I'm pretty worried. Yeah. You think our promise to meet with her at the bay is still on? Let's go ahead and see. I mean, why wouldn't it be? Well, it's not like their friend just died or anything, Kappa. Oh god. Oh good, not oh god, she's here. Ran, is your leg okay? Ran, it's me. Okay. Oh, you two came after all. The waves were so loud I couldn't hear you for a second. What are you doing over there, Gran? This is where it's hidden. Hidden? What is? What Mare, your mother, left us. My mom? Yes. So Yusa, have you heard of an island called Taishima? Yes. Oh my god. Is that my grandma? Everyone's just dying on me. Gran? What the fuck? Tsuyu, what's wrong? She hurt bad. We have to stop the bleeding. What are you two doing over there? Kikuko, this isn't what... She just suddenly... Is that Tsuyu? No, you couldn't have. Oh god, now she thinks it's us. Shit, she's totally got the wrong idea. It's too late. Gran, she's got no pulse. The wound is too deep. It's almost cut her clean in half. She's never stood a chance. I'll go get someone. You stay here with Tsuyu, Yusa. No, it's alright. I'll come with you. What the fuck? Help! Someone get the clinic doctor. Oh my god. What the fuck? This is old lady Nakamura? What the hell is happening? I hear you screaming from down there too. Come on, let's go. This is... Oh, that's Chie as well. Is that not from the beginning? I think this is actually the scene from the beginning. No way, even Chie. Someone help. 2 more people collapsed over there. What's happening? Help me, I don't want to die. Damn it, there are too many victims. We aren't going to have enough people to help at this rate. But 2 of them are not dying. I hope not. There are more over here too. That's Shotaro, and this is... What is that? Is that Kikuko? It got her too? Someone tell me what's going on. What's with these gashes appearing out of nowhere? This isn't right. There's no way this is normal. Is it a virus? Or was there really a curse? This is awful. Those affected by the phenomenon died instantly. The strange calamity that had suddenly descended on Kamishima plunged the island into a panic. With no knowledge of the cause or reason, there was nothing that could be done to prevent it, and the massacre continued unabated for a time. The survivors were seized with fear. Some ran to escape, some simply broke down, some flew into a wild rage. A frenzied chaos swept over the island. A short while later... At least we were able to meet up with Tsukasa. But what the hell is going on? The whole island's in an uproar. Everyone's so panicked we couldn't find anyone who could think straight. Who could blame them? No one knows who will be affected next. It's probably best to hide here until things settle down. You okay, Tsukasa? No, I have no idea whether my mom's safe or not. And I wasn't able to find Sato either. I'm so worried about her. Old Man Wakamura said she'd handle things, so I hope she managed to make it back home at least. Hey, do you think Sato wounds healing up like that has anything to do with what just happened? We've held off prying into Sato's past up to now. But maybe that won't fly anymore. Come to think, didn't this whole curse of the raging waves mess start with Sato came to Kamishima? Oh, that's really creepy. Hey, Gio, welcome in. What's up? Jesus. This isn't Sato's fault. She's just a normal girl. I won't let anyone say anything bad about her. Not even you, Azami. Yeah, she's just a normal girl, but she got slashed in half. Essentially. Sorry, Tsukasa. I didn't mean anything by it. I wasn't thinking straight. I mean, I never thought something like this was really possible either. Something like what? Do you have some idea what could have caused this? Well, a little while ago, when we were at the old man Wakamura's place, some guy phoned and threatened to kill all the women on Kamishima with a curse. Wait, what? Another curse? Who was it? What did they want? I don't really know. He said something about no mercy, just punishment, for anyone who defies him. It was really creepy. What the hell? All those people had to die just because some guy didn't get what he wanted? Old man Wakamura said he'd do something to stop the Raging Waves curse, but things just got worse instead. Asami calmed down. It's no use getting mad at me. You're right. Sorry, Tsukasa. I guess I got a little bit heated. Yeah, no shit. Even so, that means those gashes were deliberately caused by someone using a curse, right? So they're the ones responsible for all this. Right. Even if the massacre was caused by something supernatural, someone made it happen. About that, something's been bugging me about this whole thing. What do you mean? If it didn't seem like the victims were being targeted at random somehow. They were all women for a start. So I was trying to think of some kind of common point that would tie them together. That's our Tsukasa, sharp as ever. So what were you thinking? Could they have been targeted because they were ama divers? That's not bad, actually. Now that you mention it, weren't all the victims we saw on the way here ama divers? Though I guess most of the women of Kamishima have at least some ama diving experience. But they went after Sato first, right? That wouldn't fit. You're right. Sato isn't an ama diver. I was pretty worried Yuza and I might be targeted as well. But I guess we can breathe a bit easier now. Yeah, good luck. We still don't know what the conditions are though. None of us are out of the woods yet. Wait, the victims were only women. Could the killer have been using this to find their targets? But that would mean the culprit is... What's up, Yusa? Did you figure something out? What the fuck? Is that me? What? You say your head, it's... Oh, this is how the game started. No! Is it gone? Like, did someone cut my head off? God. This guy again. Well done in your efforts thus far. You have now borne witness to the details of the tragedy that befell Kamishima. However, please do not be discouraged. This too is necessary knowledge for your journey. The situation you find yourself in is complex indeed, a veritable maelstrom of events. But I'm sure you will be able to overcome this trial and accomplish your true objective. For now, we will return to the story chart where you may proceed with the different routes. I wish you the best of luck on your journey. Yeah, thanks. Awful. We actually unlocked the recollection for Avi. So that's not bad. This might have happened after the death. I think that's the timeline. I think we should look into the past, and we should probably do Arnie's route. I'm just gonna take a short break as we are in ads, and I will be right back. good morning, Zach. Welcome in. We are back. Back with more story. Getting really good. Let's check out Avi. Arnav Brown, a cheerful fantasy author, sets up on a trip to visit the mermaid legends of Isepe with his relative as his guide. So this is the beginning of him and the little girl's arc. After much hustle and bustle, we finally managed to make our way to Isepe. Nice. Take it all in now. We're standing on the coast of Nakapebo in Mie Prefecture's Kawage town, which means this is the Sea of Ise, the connection to the eternal world. How amazing. Indeed it is. Come, Cersei. Henceforth begins our grand adventure in search of the legendary mermaids of Isepe. How amazing. I just can't stop saying it. Without further ado, my name is Arna Barnum, an American board fantasy author. Please call me Abby. Who are you introducing yourself to? Weirdo. Not him breaking the fourth wall here. Well, I simply thought a new beginning called for a little dramatic flair, you know. Sure. With that out of the way, perhaps my darling guide can provide some insight into the goings-on of this locale. Sure, I've got you covered. While this area is now called Nakapebo, long ago it was a region of Ise province known as Betsuho. Records indicate that 3 mermaids were caught in a fisherman's net along this coast back in the Heian period. Now that's what I'm talking about. Let's hear more about those mermaids. They had human heads with the mouths of monkeys, what the fuck, and the teeth and bodies of fish, and they spoke and even shed tears like humans. Could these be the fish mermaids you mentioned before, Abby? Indubitably. Yes, this must be the place. I'm getting goosebumps. Right? I feel the same way. This is so exciting. Okay, this is about the island. We don't have to read all of it. The endless expanse of the Ise Sea, the eternal world may lie just beyond the horizon. After all, Ise province is the land whither repair the waves from the eternal world. The eternal world is purported to be a perpetual paradise, a separate plane from the world we live in, yes? Could it be that mermaids hail from such a place? I don't think I can turn around or anything. We've come all this way to a distant foreign land seeking mermaids. Of course I have my own reasons for trying to locate the mystical creatures. But for now I intend to scour this land in order to learn as much as I can about its lore and legends. But it occurs to me that I never actually explained the particulars of my Isepe mermaid excursion to the girl. No matter, it's nothing of consequence really, so I'll just introduce my reasons a bit at a time. Although a grown man, he still has a certain naive boyishness to him, most evident in his passion for romantic tales and appetite for chasing his dreams. However, this also comes with an equivalent amount of immaturity, making him somewhat troublesome to deal with. He believes that most any circumstance he finds himself in will sort itself out, an optimistic creed that often sees him casually throwing himself into difficult situations, and he remains impressively unbothered even on those occasions he does find himself in trouble, often managing to slip out of danger with nary a dent in his usual carefree attitude. That he's made it this far unscathed is largely owed to sheer luck, although he remains blissfully unaware of this. He's currently in Japan seeking mermaid flesh, which is believed to grant immortality. His reason is simple: a fascination with the occult, a pursuit he feels is worthy of devoting his entire life to. Indeed, he's primarily driven by his pursuit of romantic ideals. If he finds something suitably inspiring, he will readily risk his life for it, and is willing to change his views just as quickly for the same. Abby's interest in the occult was born when he discovered his great-grandmother's vast collection of mysterious occult artifacts in storage of his family home in America. Among them was a mermaid mummy, which yielded a mysterious map when taken apart. Oh god, a discovery which captivated his imagination and led to his current quest. This great-grandmother happened to be a relative of the main Lunar Light family in England, albeit one who had chosen not to succeed the family estate. After discovering this through independent research into his lineage, Abby made contact with the Lunar Light family and continues to maintain a secret correspondence with them, to this day. So basically that's why he's with the girl. It's fine. This young lady is a distant relative of mine, the third daughter of the Lunar Light family. The Lunar Lights have been in the business of demonic exorcism in England for several generations now. As such, young Circe has received education on this rare subject from a young age and is now an apprentice exorcist. In order to continue her training, or more likely simply because of her interest in the area, Circe has come to Japan to study abroad. Upon hearing such news, I sought to employ her as my guide for this mermaid hunting expedition to Ise Bay. She's apparently quite fond of Japanese myths and folk tales, and has already exploited a number of areas concerned with the occult. Interested in visiting Mie Prefecture at least once during her stay, she immediately agreed to my request. She is the third daughter of Kiara Lunar Light, the current head of the matrilineal Lunar Light family, a long line of exorcists based in England. Although with her two older sisters, she has received a specialized education in exorcism ever since she was a child and is currently in training as an apprentice. As the beings known as demons in the West ultimately shame the same root, causes harmful supernatural phenomena in the East, the spirits of the dead, strong thoughts and curses. What she does as an exorcist is fundamentally the same as what Japanese psychics do, with only the methods and terminology differing. Okay. She's been spending more time traveling around the country sightseeing than working through the curriculum. Of course. The supervisor in charge of her training has all but given up on trying to manage her as a result. Oh, okay. She's an ardent fan of Mio Kurosuzu, a girl with potent spirit sense, and her senior in the industry of Japan. Aha, okay. She keeps the photograph of meeting Mio with her at all times. As far as the girl is concerned, I suppose I could be considered a guardian of sorts. Even so, I often find myself caught up in her pace and completely thrown off guard. If anyone should be shaking things up around here, it ought to be me. Kawage Town might be located right next to Mie Prefecture as model capital 2 city, but there's something you have to keep in mind. This was also the birthplace of the Heike, a branch of the Heian period's preeminent Taira clan. If you're going to talk about Ise province, then you absolutely have to mention the Heike. I do have a passing understanding of the topic. The Heike took part in Genpei War, correct? That's right. That was the war in the Heian period, where two great samurai families, the Minamoto and the Taira, locked horns and really got into it. Among the Heike, Tara no Kiyomori was a particularly famous figure who appears in many creative works concerning the event. His father, Taira no Tadamori, was the one responsible for securing the Heike's high social standing. So Tadamori was Kiyomori's father, right? With names like that, how can anyone hope to keep them straight? That's the history for you. I'm afraid you'll just have to memorize them. I suppose you're right about that. Then memorize them I shall. Apparently Tadamori was born in Tsu City in a place called Ubushina. So that's why they call this area the birthplace of the Heike. Huh. This is the metropolitan center of Mie and a locus of historical events. I guess that makes it a perfect place to start a new journey. I put together an assortment of files concerning the Heike, so feel free to give them a look if you're interested. You have my heartfelt gratitude. Okay, there's a lot of history here. I don't think we need to read through all of it. There's one thing I should warn you about though. This group sometimes gets referred to as Ise Taira as well, which makes things a little confusing. I'll go ahead and label it as Heike. Does it really matter? Aren't they just basically the same thing? Not exactly. You see, the term Ise Taira refers to Taira clan as a whole because it originated in Ise. On the other hand, people generally refer to family within the clan that included Tadamori and Kiyomori as simply the Heike. Their family features prominently in the stories we're interested in, so I'll use Heike most of the time. Plus it has a nice ring to it. Either way works for me. You're awfully particular about this, but I rather like that kind of fastidiousness. Anyway, after a number of events, the Heike would go on to lose the Battle of Danonura and be completely eradicated. I believe I know this one. Danonura is found in Kyushu, is it not? Bingo. The clan was chased out of Kyoto and pushed further and further west until they were eventually wiped out of there. It pains me to think of such a resplendently glorious clan meeting such an ignominious end. More the pity. That's why the Heike's resentment is particularly strong, and many remnants of it remain even today. Shrines and monuments have even been erected throughout the land in an attempt to quell that resentment. Now we reach your particular field of expertise. Because the clan fell from such an exalted position so abruptly, the resentment is exceptionally persistent and quite pervasive. That said, famous places related to people like Tairo no Kimori as well attended by the worshippers, so they are relatively stable. Just a moment. Just a moment. Alright, there we go. It's the puffed up and pretentious hiking clan members that don't even remember us who caused the most trouble. I seem to recall a number of individuals going so far as to claim that those outside the Heike clan could not even be considered human. But if that's the case, we're really safe here? You don't think we might find ourselves assailed by these lingering grudges? Much of Ise province is protected by shrines, and the area is suffused with spiritual energy, so we're probably safer here than most places. But that's just the land itself. Objects or people that the resentment has seeped into are a different story altogether. This is all related to the, to the big curse. That's somewhat troubling to hear. Okay. Either way you look at it, this region is still home to many places and things associated with the Heike. Can we get back to those mermaids you mentioned? What became of the 3 that were caught in the fishing nets? At that time, the lord of this area was Tairo no Tadamori. You didn't already forget him, did you? The fisherman thought the mermaids were a fascinating find, so he placed 2 of them into boxes and presented them to Tadamori. Oh no, Lord Tadamori must have been well pleased by that. How could he not be? It was known that eating the flesh of a mermaid grants eternal life. Actually, Tadamori evidently said they were disturbing and gross and refused to accept them. What a waste. However, the fisherman cut up the remaining mermaid and ate it himself. What the fuck? So what happened to him? Well, the fisherman said it was pretty tasty. Well now, tasty, isn't it? And that's all I've got. That's it? That's all I can find in existing records. Then the act of eating a mermaid's flesh alone may not produce any results. I suppose then there may be other requisite conditions, wouldn't you say? Considering the sheer number of eyewitnesses reporting concerning mermaids, it's odd that there aren't more immortals walking around. Fucking eerie. There don't seem to be any records about what happened to the mermaids that Tadamori refused to accept. I suppose it's possible someone in the Heike clan snuck off with them. Now that's a hypothesis I can get behind. Excellent. I believe I've gotten a grasp of the situation at hand. It's time we made our way to the next locale. We're on the clock after all. Let's get to it. Okay. Oh, I can move? But then would such mermaids be so easily trapped by simple fishing nets? I thought them more cunning than that. Perhaps these fish mermaids are in fact nothing more than simple sea creatures. Move. Aha, okay, cool. Really interesting. Really good story. Well, it would seem that we've arrived. And where are we now, Cersei? This is an area in Ano Town known as Kusawa. Kusawa is quite famous because of the Yaobikuni legend. I'd be surprised if there was anyone who hasn't heard of it. I'm sorry to say if I've never heard of it. But really? Come on now, don't act so shocked. You can't expect me to know every little thing, and besides, I'm not even from this country. The very reason I requested you be my guide was so you could teach me about things like this. I guess that's true. Okay, I understand. I'll be counting on your explanations. The fabled beauty of the serene Japanese countryside, it really is charming. The incessant chirping of locusts combined with unrelenting heat, this is Japanese summer alright. It's fascinating to think that such a peaceful place could be home to such profound historical events. I'm practically jittering with excitement. I can see that. Let's try to keep a cool head, shall we? Why's he being to her? We could talk. To her, I don't think there's anything... Oh, maybe there is something. Shrine! What's down there? Some sort of shrine? The shrine is apparently dedicated to Sugawara no Michizane. We should go pay our respects before we leave. Alright. That's fine. The legend of Yaobikuni originated here in Kusawa, Ano Town. Oh, this is the mermaid that was mentioned when Sato was cut. Long, long ago, a 17-year-old girl named Osato lived in this village. She unknowingly ingested the meat of a mermaid that was served during a village gathering and became immortal. After subsequently being persecuted by the other villages, she became a nun and made a pilgrimage around the entire country. At the end of the story, she eventually returned to this village and lived out the rest of her very long life. Tales told in other parts of the country play out in almost exactly the same fashion. Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, that's pretty much the same story that they just told us. The legend of Yaobikuni, the girl who ate the flesh of a mermaid and lived for 800 years, has been passed down all over Japan. Not only here in the Mie Prefecture's Ano Town, but in Fuku, Aichi, and Gifu prefectures as well. In total, the story has been found in 121 locations in 28 prefectures throughout the country, or at least that's what certain researchers have indicated. Doesn't that seem like a lot? Were there really that many different Yaobikunis out there? Obviously, not all of the legends can be true, but I actually have a theory on the subject. Would you like to hear it? By all means. Most of the legends refer to a woman who stopped aging and lived for 800 years after consuming the meat of a mermaid. At that point, because the others would find it strange that she wasn't getting any older, she wasn't able to live in a normal society anymore. I suppose that would be natural. It would explain why she withdrew from the world and became a nun. Exactly. And that's how she got the name Yaobikuni, the 800-year-old Bikuni nun. With 800 years on her hands, she could have easily made a pilgrimage around the entire country. How interesting. Buddhist priests are known for trekking throughout the land as a form of ascetic training. And if we consider the 121 locations where the legend was found, with 800 years to spare, she could have spent 6 years in each location. 6 years would certainly be enough time for her to make a name for herself in each and every location, right? Oh my dear, I believe I see what you're getting at. Your theory poses that the stories of Yaobikuni that have been passed down in every corner of the country all refer to the exact same individual. Well, it might be a bit much to say that all of them are the same. There may have been a few different people. But it's more convincing that the theory that there were 121 people. I also think the Yaobikuni of Wakasa province is the most likely origin of the legend. I wonder. Don't all the different instances of the story throughout Japan also claim that particular location as their place of final rest? That may be true, but I assume that each of those different places wanted to have a grave or some other tangible marker to base the legend on. But would so many people that are purported to have lived for 800 years all die at around the same time? It seems pretty unlikely. Then, you believe some of the tales were embellished somewhat? That sort of thing happens all the time. Legends are always mixtures of truth and fantasy. Moreover, it doesn't make sense that every single immortal would decide to become a nun, right? There were likely some places that simply believed Yaobikuni was the term for an immortal. Rather than a nun, for all we know, she said, I'ma be none of that. I'ma be none of that. And became an Amma diver. Right. Jesus. Hey, Maester, I unlocked those emotes as well, it seems. That's actually pretty insightful. Many legends are based on simple semantic misunderstandings. Now wait just a minute. I won't stand here and let my dumb joke actually become a salient point of discussion. Let's drop it then. But still, if one were to somehow live for 800 years, a person that became immortal after the Kamakura period should still be alive today. True. And if so, I'd love to sit them down for a long chat. Right? Can Kusawa's legend of Yaobikuni really be true? There must be falsehoods and fictions mixed into the tale, surely. Who knows? Ise province isn't that far from Wakasa province, after all. She may have simply walked from here to there. The fact that the stories from each different area are so similar does make me wonder if they didn't get mixed together somehow. You think the legend may be an amalgamation of stories from various locations? Exactly. But then again, the immortal in the story from this location has her own name, which gives the legend a certain verisimilitude. Indeed it does. I guess we can assume that a girl with that name really did live here long ago. Then something must have happened to make people believe she had become immortal. It's reasonable to assume her story then got mixed up with various legends of Yaobikuni from around the country before being passed down. Of course, the exact timings of these events is still unclear, but that does present an interesting possibility. She could very well still be living in this village. Wouldn't that be a compelling development? Leave it to an occult writer to think of something like that. That's right, you're seeing the prodigious imaginative power of a fantasy author in fiction. It's really something. But the fact of the matter is that almost no traces of Yaobikuni remain in this village. Even her grave, which is referred to as the Lady Yao's tomb, has never been located. But then, did we come all this way for nothing? We'll see. Well, it might not have a direct connection, but there's something one should always consider when discussing Ise. The Tales of Ise. Have you heard of it? It's the oldest extant collection of Japanese verse compiled sometime during the Heian period. I'm afraid I'm not familiar with it. But I have heard of Tale of Genji and Tale of Heike. Is it anything like those? Well, those were also stories written during the Heian period, but that's where the similarities end. Nice try, though. Were they? Well, they sound similar enough anyway. Don't worry, I'm not an expert on the subject either. Basically, this collection of verse elaborates on a number of waka poems by giving accounts of the events surrounding each one. The entire collection of 125 passages is referred to as the Tales of Ise. That's easy enough to remember, no? Yeah, did you get all that? The Tales of Ise is a collection of short stories. Check. One more thing. The title might be The Tales of Ise, but the content isn't all that focused on the actual area. What's this now? Are they intentionally attempting to confuse and bewilder us? Some believe the title comes from the fact that passage 69 is sent in Ise province. At any rate, I just thought I should bring it up because it does have at least a slight bearing on the topic at hand. If you're keen to learn more, I'll add more detailed information to the files. Thank you. I'll be sure to read through them later. Okay, so there's a... There's quite a bit. There's one other thing we can learn from the Tales of Ise. Adding the tale of to a book title really classes things up. You should keep that in mind. It was apparently all the rage during the Heian period. Oh, I couldn't agree more. My next work is certainly going to be a tale of... Well then, I suppose that brings this particular subject to a close. On to the next. No rest for the wicked, I say. Time to tackle the next mermaid myth. Sure. Okay. We can move elsewhere. Have we been here? I don't think we've been here yet. And here we find our next subject of inquiry. What place might this be, my dear? This is Futamigura, the coastline that lies beside Futami town. It's just over from Ise City. Then we finally penetrated the outskirts of Ise City proper. Things are certainly beginning to heat up. I inferred that the Ise City was the prefectural capital from the fact that Mie Prefecture was once known as Ise Province. Not bad, eh? Well, I can understand how you would arrive at that conclusion. But the truth is, Mie Prefecture is composed of 4 separate provinces. Ise, Shima, Iga, and Ki. Is that so? Oh, she knows a lot, holy shit. But that doesn't change the fact that Ise City is regarded as the spiritual capital of Japan, making it a very important location. Very interesting. But the sun has already begun its steady descent, so perhaps we should pick up the pace a bit. Futamigura's sea is famously said to purify the body, so many visitors to Ise Shrine come here as well. The scenic beauty of the location has ever been featured in poems from antiquity. It certainly is easy on the eyes. The strands of pine trees along the shore make for quite a striking image. To make it even better, the embankment we're standing on offers a 360-degree view of Ise Bay. It makes you want to get out of the very edge to take it all in. It really does. Being surrounded by the bay like this is such an enchanting feeling. What a breathtaking view. As far as the girl is concerned, I suppose I could be considered a guardian of sorts. I often find myself caught up in her pace and completely thrown off guard. Oh, he already said that, but it wasn't marked as complete. Same thoughts? Speaking of which, this is entirely unrelated, but there's something I've been wondering. Do you mind? What? But our conversation was just getting good. Protest all you like, but I shall ask anyway. On our way here, I noticed a certain something adorning the entrances to everyone's houses. What was that? Right, those are Somin Shorai talismans. Somin Shorai? Yes, although in most Japan, they're usually only hung up around New Year, but here in Ise Tobashima region, they're traditionally left up all year long. Interesting. I can add more information to the files for you later. Okay, they come in different shapes. Why though? It's basically just like a tradition that they have. What is it? What? What is it? Now you're making me antsy. Yeah, what is it? This. Come on, Cersei. You realized something about those summon Shorai, didn't you? You must share. No, nothing like that. It just made me think about how close this area is to the eternal world. Is it? What does that mean? You'd already know this from the files, but regarding the Shomen Zorai, its origin goes back to a legend, the deity Gozu Tenmo, who was courting the princess of Ryugu. Ryugu, you say? That's right, Ryugu is close to this place. In other words, that place is very close to the eternal world. And furthermore, Gozu Tenmo was also the guardian deity of the Gion Shoja temple. The very same Gion Shoja who gets mentioned in our good old friend, The Tale of Haiki. So it is. What was it again? From the bells of the Gion Shoja, echoes of the impermanence of all things, right? It sounds so cool, I even memorized it. Haven't got a clue what it means though. That's the one. As for its meaning, you can look it up yourself. Fine. So what you're saying is, Isashima is a land with deep ties for both Ryugu and the Haiki. We gathered that much. And that's exactly why the Summon Shorai tradition is so well established here. That reminds me. There's something about Ryugu's princess that keeps bothering me as well. She certainly is mysterious, So, does this place have any legends featuring mermaids? It does. A record called the Kagenki was written by people at Horyuji Temple after the Kamakura period. In that record, there are a total of 6 instances of information concerning mermaids. 6, eh? That's certainly promising. One of those entries describes a sighting here in Futami, Ise province, on April 3rd during the second year of the Enbun era, which would be 1357. So they even noted the exact date. How fortuitous. The passage is as follows. From the Sea of Futami in Ise province came Emiju delivering perpetuity. So what exactly does that mean? My guess is that a mermaid was spotted in the sea by Futami, and it was named Enmeiju, meaning health and long life, because it granted longevity. Aha, it granted longevity, did it? Finally, we're getting to the good stuff. It's another account relating mermaids to Yao Bikuni. It seems the ideas of mermaids granting immortality has already been established at that time. Indeed, and now we even have a name. So what sort of mermaid was this, and what became of it? No clue. Jesus. Again with the vague records. These people write down the appearance of some fantastical creature and then just let it wander off. I haven't personally gone over every bit of research on the matter, but I can speculate and answer. Records of mermaids in other places also often refer to them by name. In fact, it may not have been all that uncommon for the people in the area to encounter them when these records were written. Let me see if I follow your meaning. The same mermaid would appear repeatedly, leading people in the area to grow accustomed to it. Am I on the right track? Exactly. I mean, you wouldn't bother giving a name to something you only saw once after all. These people may have come to have a kind of rapport with the mermaids. At the very least, it doesn't appear as though they were trying to capture any. Mermaids that people didn't want to capture. Then they weren't seeking its flesh. Perhaps there was a way of obtaining immortality even without that. Maybe mermaid meat really was just tasty and nothing more. Oh god. And if that were the case, then it makes perfect sense that they would view the mermaid as a divine creature. So they treated it as an auspicious being that blessed others with long life. You may be onto something here. This makes me think of that theory you mentioned about how there might be 2 different kinds of mermaids. Oh, you remembered. I stand by my theory. There's the fish mermaid, which looks more like an aquatic monster or beastie, and a human mermaid, which resembles a demi-human or nymph. Indeed, that is the simplest way to describe it anyhow. Assuming the mermaid in question had a name, formed a relationship with humans and granted longevity, it stands to reason it was on the human mermaid variety. You have a point. The mermaids we've encountered thus far have been caught in nets and appear to be more like fish mermaids. It seems more likely then that the mermaids who grant longevity are actually these human mermaids. Interesting. That in turn would suggest... My word, would this mean that one could become immortal without eating their flesh? I'm not sure. There are countless legends that reference the need to consume their flesh. But I can't help like there's more to it. Consume flesh. Could there be like a different meaning to it? If human mermaids are capable of communicating with us, I'd really like to speak to one. Agreed. That reminds me about Futamigaura. We've been here all day, holy shit. Dear me, how time flies when listening to your lectures, Cersei. The sun has already gone down. Suppose I got carried away. Sorry. Well, if that results in such a lovely view of the sea at night, I'll not complain. You're right. Just look at all those stars. Oh, that's pretty. But look, the heavens are entirely enveloped in a shower of dazzling pinpricks of light. What a sight to behold. Would you happen to be versed in constellations, Cersei? Well, I've dabbed a bit in astrology, so I guess I know a thing or two. She probably knows everything. She's like the the Chadley of this game. Excellent, do tell. And then she doesn't. Oh, but we really let time get away from us. Look how dark it's gotten. Without the light from the stars above, we'd be lost in pitch darkness. Dear me, I dragged her around all day long, didn't I? Or perhaps I should say I had her drag me around all day long. As her guardian for the time being, I suppose I ought to have had us retire earlier. Though Cersei herself seems to have limitless reserves of energy. Beautiful soundtrack. Absolutely gorgeous. Well, if we consider the constellations you can see in Japan during summer, the first one that comes to mind is the Summer Triangle. It's the easy one to find. Triangle, eh? I presume it's made up of 3 stars. Correct. Vega in the constellation Lyra, Deneb in the constellation Cygnus, and Altair in the constellation Aquila. The trio of bright stars can be observed close to the Milky Way in this season. What? I want to see. How do you go about identifying them? Well, first, low in the southern eastern portion of the sky, look for a star that glows red, Antares of the Scorpio constellation. Southwest, you say? From here that would mean facing inland and looking to the right. Okay, try to find a red star low in the sky and point to it. Aha, okay. Facing inland, there's a red star low in the sky. That star is Antares. Can you find it? Do I have to, like, look again? How does this work? Ah, wait, I do believe I found it. The star just there with a reddish tint. That must be Antares, yes? Correct. That is indeed Antares, the brightest star in the Scorpio constellation. I found it all by myself. I'd make quite the celestial cartographer if I do say so myself. I hate to rain on your parade, but you were supposed to be looking for a star in the Summer Triangle, so please try again. Oh, that's right. I'm not looking straight up from Antares. I bet you'll find Vega in the sky's zenith. Give it a shot. I think it's this one. That's Vega, one of the 3 stars in the Summer Triangle. In Japan, Vega is also called the Orihime star, and it's famous for its connection to the Tanabata Star Festival. And that must mean Hikonbishi will be on the opposite side of the Milky Way from that one. Exactly right. Can you figure out which one it is? One of the other stars in the Summer Triangle is in the same area, so see if you can find it. That's Altair, one of the 3 stars in the Summer Triangle. Okay. She's like, I didn't expect you to be such a romantic. And now it's this one. Okay. I think it's this one. That's Deneb, one of the 3 stars in the summer triangle. Okay. There, I've located all 3 stars of the summer triangle. How'd you like that? Good work. Now you mastered the summer skies. Should I start addressing you as Professor? That's me. Feel free to rely on my knowledge. Oh god. What is another name for the star Hikabonshi? Do I have to... Like, do I have to know this? Like, they normally don't quiz me on this, but like, if I get it wrong, then then are we in trouble? I don't know. Is this like, is this real or? I don't know. Nothing to it. Regardless, we've seen all there is to see here in Futamigura. I'd even go so far as to call this a wrap. I think that covers all the mermaid legends for me at Prefecture, but is there anywhere else you're keen to visit, Cersei? What? We haven't even visited Ice Shrine yet. If you ask me, we barely scratched the surface. You got a point there, but it's getting late, so let's save that for tomorrow, shall we? I mean, this was a cute little section. Like, you got to meet them, and Cersei is a bit... Like, there's a bit much to her story. Like, she talks a lot. Talk about a gorgeous view. It is something, isn't it? This is Mount Asama's observation platform. It overlooks Toba City on one side and Issa City on the other. So that's Toba City over there, eh? What's Toba got going for it? The first thing that comes to mind when thinking about Toba is Toba Castle, built in the Sengoku period by none other than pirate daimyo Lord Kuki, who at one time led the Kuki naval fleet. That's more exciting than I anticipated. As for the Tobashima area, it's famous for having the highest population of ama divers in Japan. I knew there'd be something touristy. What a fantastic blend of culture and history. Good morning, Star-Lord! Welcome in! How are you today? We're playing Paranormasight 2 today, part 2. It's a beautiful little game. A visual novel with horror elements. Pretty happy about it. How's Saturday treating you? Apparently Mount Asama's peak sits at 555 meters above sea level, so it's not that high. But it's situated at the tip of the Shima Peninsula. It offers a magnificent view of Toba Bay's coastline and the outlying islands. Since we stopped by the shrine this morning, I assumed we'd take the mountain path. All I can say is this place takes my breath away. It is beautiful, isn't it? It's such a good game. Has a really cool story, especially like if you're even a little bit into mermaids. Yeah, it's really good. Over there you can see the city of Toba spread out along the coast. By the way, they tend to call this the Isashima region, but most of the time the term includes Toba as well. Something to keep in mind. So when I hear Isashima, I should also think Toba, eh? Yeah, we'll try. There are a lot of files. Okay. She's been packed and ready to venture forth since the early hours of the morning. Though I myself beat her to the punch, having been too excited to sleep a wink all night. First off, you should know that the naval troops in the Sengoku period were basically just pirates. What? They would put together crews of rowdy sailors, armed into teeth, and have them patrol a designated area of the sea. They only actually served under their commander as a naval force when there was a battle. That's what the Navy was like back then, right? Haven't we covered that yesterday? We're learning a lot about not just mermaids, but this entire region. So today has been a bit historical, and it's nice. It's pretty good. Still learning, yeah. A ragtag bunch of pirates only called on to do their duty in times of need. Exactly. In fact, such forces only came to be called navies during the Edo period, and that was purely a matter of convenience. As per the Kuki Navy, it was only the pirate bands patrolling the waters of Ise Bay. A man named Kuki Yoshitaka was its commander, hence the name. He distinguished himself in the service of Oda Nobunaga and Toyotomi Hideyoshi, eventually rising to the position of daimyo Shibuya province. That's why they called him the pirate daimyo. He started as a lowly pirate, but rose all the way to the top of the chain of command. Did you say Oda Nobunaga? I've heard. He was the demon king of the sixth heaven, no? True, but that's the title he gave himself. A pirate and a daimyo, what an enchanting combination. He wasn't blessed where allies were concerned. It seems he was always butting heads with his relatives. For one thing, he may have had his nephew Sumitaka assassinated in order to take over the Kuki clan. He also fought on the opposite side of his own son Moritaka in the decisive battle of Sekigahara. And in the end, suppressed by only his vassals, he committed suicide on Toshijima, that island over there. So while Kuki became daimyo of Shima province, his land was confiscated during his son's rule and the clan fell into decline. Right. Into mermaids and into mermaids. Either way. Life truly is full of ups and downs. How the mighty do fall. He must have been quite a character. There's another fascinating legend related to the clan. It's about Kuki Yoshitaka's nephew Sumitaka. He had an extraordinarily beautiful daughter named Princess Hatsune. I dare say I know where this is going. Whenever a legend starts with a beautiful daughter, it inevitably ends with trouble. You're not wrong there. Princess Hatsune was so beautiful that she saw no end of suitors, and her father sought to marry her off to achieve his political ends. But the princess already had a lover, so she fought against her father's plans and even ran away several times, only to be brought home. I knew it. Alas, that was life was like for the daughters of powerful figures in those days. Well, Princess Hatsune lamented her fate. Must I be cursed with such misfortune merely for my beauty? And she didn't stop there. May no beautiful daughter be born to this land again. Such was the curse she left behind, before throwing herself down a well. And so ends the legend. Now, not what I'd call a happy ending. The princess may have had good intentions, but I'm sure no one else felt that she was doing them any favors. Good intentions? That's not how I interpreted it. Well, what was your take on the story then? When authority figures try to force other people's hands, they bring these things upon themselves. It's just asking to get cursed. Fair enough, I see your point. Still, the princess did take it a bit far. To me though, it almost feels like that part was tacked on later. As if someone thought it would make the story more impactful, and that word of it would travel further if the princess killed herself at the end. Oh, if you're right, that would change the story completely. But there's something else that interests me more. Sumitaka became head of the Kuki clan in 1560, but he was so young that Hoshitaka had to be appointed as his guardian. His exact age at the time isn't known, but the common belief is that he was about 8 years old. Nothing unusual there. Premature inheritances were a common occurrence in those days. But consider this. When Sumitaka died 24 years later in 1584, he would have been 32 years old. Yes? Even if we suppose the Princess Hatsune was 15, their ages don't quite add up, do they? Age differences weren't so much of a point of contention back then, but even so that's a bit odd. Which begs the question, did Princess Hatsune really exist to begin with? And even if she did, was she really Sumitaka's daughter? And Agate Magatama was unearthed at the place where the princess was supposedly buried. That could have easily been planted there to lend credibility to the tale. Once you start doubting, it's hard not to see lies everywhere. True, And the pursuit of the unknown starts with belief, doesn't it? Well said. A certain occult researcher taught me that one. You don't say. Alright, this is pretty much the summary of what they just said. I just realized something. Koki Sumitama died or was assassinated exactly 400 years ago. Is that significant? It is. A special spiritual significance is attached to a period of 400 years. For instance, the cycle of death and rebirth supposedly lasts 400 years. And some stories claim that a soul endures for 400 years. Of course, 800-year immortals have twice that lifespan. But as you can see, 400 years is widely considered a good cutoff point. So there's a chance something happens after 400. Maybe. In that case, we should probably tread carefully there. It sounds to me as if we're in the right place at the right time. Ama divers have a long history in the Tobashima region. Evidence indicates that free divers have been fishing in the area since ancient times. You don't say. Most notably, it is said that Oben, who once presented an abalone to Yamatohina no Mikoto, was the first Ama diver. In fact, there is a shrine dedicated to Oben in Kozaki that is considered a sacred place to Ama divers of the Tobashima region. Is that so? She must have been truly legendary. Moreover, there are several poems in the famous 8th century poetry anthology, Manyoshu, that depict the Ama diving in the Shima province. Ama divers also appear in dozens of ukiyo from the Edo period. Clearly, they were a popular theme. It's quite incredible to think that their method of fishing has not only endured for so long, but has been recorded in such exquisite detail. There's another point worth noting. Ama divers have long been likened to mermaids for their skill and grace. You could even argue that the Ama diver culture that is so deeply rooted in this place is interwoven with the region's mermaid legends. There's the theory that the mermaids of Isabe were simply Ama divers. Okay. It does seem likely there's a connection between the two. I wouldn't be surprised if they were the originators of the legend. Perhaps, but I'd be beyond disappointed if that's all there is to it. Right. By the way, there's another legend surrounding the Ama divers of the Tobashima region regarding something called the Tomokazuki. Oh yeah, the thing from the beginning. It's believed that an Ama diver may encounter a copy of herself underwater, who will then offer her an abalone. If she accepts, the Tomokazuki doppelganger would drag her to the bottom of the sea, never to be seen again. Ugh! Seriously, please don't spring scary stories on me out of nowhere. That's why the Ama divers of this area wear the Simon and Doman symbols on them while they dive. It's a tradition that has continued right up to the present day. There must be some reason for it beyond true superstition. Interesting. On another note, the Ama divers of the Tobashima region possess such exceptional diving skills that in addition to fishing, they also saved people from drowning and fetched objects that had sunk to the seafloor, right up until the Meiji era. Oh well, it sounds as if they were true diving professionals. The Heike were defeated at Danaura and were lost beneath the waves. Oh, okay, so we're back there. After that fateful battle, who do you think they sent to reclaim the legendary sword Kusanagi no Tsurugi from the seafloor? 2 Ama divers. Their lost and found services were being employed even back then. And while they were diving, they came to face with the vengeful spirits of the drowned Heike. Right. At least that's what depicted in the ukiyo entitled In the Western Sea, the diving women encounter the Heike in the depths of the water. Such a deep connection. To think the Heike were even once depicted with Ama divers. They truly are a symbol of the Iseshima region. Yes, but the setting for that ukiyo is Danaura, which isn't anywhere near here. Still, it goes to show that Ama divers have held a deep connection to the sea for a very long time. Okay. And when we're talking about the Tobashima region, Ama divers are always going to be key players. If you ask me, they should be brought up before the pirates. Mind you, the Navy had a crucial role to play too. Right, well, as fascinating as all of this has been, Cersei, I'd say it's high time we return to our primary topic of interest. And what would that be? Personally, now that we visited Issa's shrine, I'm more or less satisfied. Tut tut. Cersei, you disappoint me. We didn't come here purely to chase legends, did we? Aww. And here I was hoping we would move on to buying souvenirs next. Oh, Jesus. You would know perfectly well that the true purpose of my voyage is nothing more or less than a treasure hunt. Right. Of course, I'm sure all this information we've been gathering will come in handy as well. First things first, let's head back to the inn. From there, we can plan our next move. That was a cool story, wasn't it? Okay. So, no recollections here so far. I think we're still in ads, I'm not sure. But I will take just a small break now, and I will see you in a couple of minutes. I want to make myself a new drink and make sure to do so as well. We are back. I'm not sure how this happened, but I think we had double ads playing or something. Sorry about that. But I was taking a small break to make myself a drink. And now we can continue. I think we're just gonna keep with Avi. We have a treasure hunt. I don't know what that is, but anyway, we have a summary previous event for Avi. After collecting information about mermaids and returning to their inn, Avi and Cersei have a meeting to plan for their true objective, the treasure hunt. Okay. They're kind of a weird couple, aren't they? Not couple, but, you know, companions. Now then, I believe it is time we discuss our strategy. Sure, what do you mean by strategy? It should be obvious. We must reflect on all we've learned if we want to move forward. Okay. This is the Murakimote. It's a small inn located in Toba. It's a laid-back inn that feels more like a private residence than a hotel, thanks to the attentive staff. I could barely count all the different fresh fish we were served for dinner last night. I have not felt so full in a while. I worried yesterday that Cersei might struggle to sleep on just a futon in a tatami room like this, but she looks well rested. I suppose she's used to it. I, on the other hand, was too excited to get much sleep. Some of the notes I've taken. The information, the item is not substantive and likely of no use. Okay. This is a sketch of the mermaid mummy that I found in our family storage. Bringing it along would have been out of the question, so I settled on just bringing a sketch. Well, that's right. I still haven't told Cersei why I'm searching for mermaids. Maybe he should. This map was quite old. This is why he's here. This is a mermaid treasure map. Allow me to explain. I found this mermaid... Okay, I should explain it to her. Yeah, we'll do that. Business card from the guy we met. First things first, let's head back to the inn. From there we can plan our next move. Pardon me, but would the lovely lady and handsome gentleman be willing to spare me a moment? Why yes, the gentleman does have some time. I suppose that makes me the lady then. Oh, it's you. Who is that? You've been following us for quite some time. Huh, he has? For how long? Since the Easter Grand Shrine, I believe. Truly. Maybe you could try to keep me apprised of things like this in the future, Cersei. It appears I wasn't as stealthy as I thought. My apologies for the indiscretion. But you see, the two of you piqued my interest. Foreigners in Issa Bay searching for mermaids. Ah, you overheard everything. How embarrassing. Hollering won't lessen the embarrassment. But how rude of me. I ought to introduce myself. I'm an event planner here in Issa City. My name is Kipe Ikoma. Didn't we hear of him before? A fancy business card and everything. What a charming fellow. Let's see. Salad planning, eh? And it says here you're the CEO. I'm actually the only employee, so the title doesn't mean much. I see. I apologize for the rudeness, but actually I just ran out of business cards of my own. Did you ever have any? I heard you need to carry business cards in Japan if you want to avoid looking suspicious, but I still forgot to bring any. But the freewheeling and forgetful man before you goes by the name of Arnav Barnum, a fantasy author who's merely passing through. Do you believe me, or am I too suspicious? Without a business card for proof, the verdict is yours alone to make. So you're an author, Mr. Barnum? Please call me Avi. This is Cersei. She has studied more Japanese history than even the average Japanese citizen. It's a pleasure. If you'd like, I can list the top 100 of Issa's best features at any time. Aren't you a delight? I was right to take an interest in the two of you. Okay. Why is he important? Okay. He's planning a PR project themed on mermaids as a sightseeing attraction. Okay. He's often told he looks old for his age, but this means he's not taking lightly when doing business, so he's 26 years old. Forgive me for my bluntness, but would you mind sparing me a few moments? I'd love to talk a little longer. I suppose that could be arranged. This man is actually a CEO, though I'm not sure I'd call him young. His gaze has a piercing quality to it, and there's something off about his smile. Everything about him feels older than he looks. Interesting. Gusts of wind graze this lovely observation deck. Okay. I thought she was totally absorbed in our sight, seeing yet she noticed we were being tailed. Impressive, if I do say so myself. What do you think, Cersei? Feels like a scammer who targets foreign tourists. Quite the blunt one, aren't you, young lady? Oh yeah? He does have a scammy vibe to him. The truth is, I'm currently planning a promotional tourism campaign for the Isashima region. I was thinking of using Mermaid legend as the centerpiece of the campaign. Mermaids, huh? I'm sure you're already quite aware of the mermaid legends of Isabei, yes? I thought we could hold events and exhibitions centered around such legends to attract tourists. I see, so that's why we're interested in mermaids. The Isashima region is also famous for its pearls. I believe mermaids and pearls naturally complement one another. True. There's also the famous legend that mermaids' tears turn into pearls when they're washed away by the ocean. Oh no, such a story would do wonders for... Oh ho, not oh no. We're driving tourism to the area. Okay. Guess he knows a fair bit about mermaids. There are some mermaid legends that most people have never heard of. Do share. A long time ago, there was an island south of Kamishima known as Taishima. Have you heard of it? I'm afraid I haven't. It rings a bell. It was also called Taishima by some. That's absolutely right. It is said that once upon a time, 3 mermaids lived on Taishima. 3 of them? Tell me, were they human mermaids or fish mermaids? Human? Well, I suppose their upper bodies were human, so you could describe them as such. I see. Then that would separate them from the 3 mermaids discovered in Betsuho during the Heian period. Oh, this is the first I've heard of this tale. However, Taishima sunk about 400 years ago during a natural disaster. The mermaids seem to have vanished after that. What? That's such a shame. Regardless, it is said that 3 mermaids were named Sobai, Nagame, and Hayase. So the mermaids were named too, huh? That definitely adds to authenticity of the story. Pardon me, Mr. Ikoma. I never came across such concrete information. Where did you learn this? I don't blame you for questioning my sources. I also haven't managed to find any records of this tale. You see, the story was passed down through word of mouth. As it turns out, there was a single man who managed to escape the island's destruction. His descendants have kept the legends alive. Aha, so it's one of those descendants you heard the story from. That's right. They live in a modest private life these days. When the story comes straight from a descendant like that, it does lend it some credibility. I'd love to continue deeper about these Taishima mermaids. If you don't mind, could you share the identity of this descendant you speak of? My apologies, I'm afraid I cannot oblige. She's not the friendliest sort. Frankly, I ever have trouble getting her to open up. Oh shit, that might be Mare. No matter how many times I visit her, I always feel like I'm only getting part of the story. I see. That's a real shame. Now, this may not be much consolation, but I have another interesting rumor from this descendant to share. Oh, I'm all ears. It concerns the rumored Taishima mermaids. It is said that a few decades ago, one of those mermaids turned human and now lives among us. No kidding. She became human? It does ring a bell, though. Why, that's exactly like the story of the Little Mermaid. What an exciting discovery. That's interesting. You say that this was only a few decades ago. That makes it quite recent. This former mermaid could even be walking among the people here as we speak. If the story is true, then yes. However, I'll concede that even I find this story hard to believe. It's a little fantastical. By the way, may I ask why you're searching for Isabei's mermaids, Abby? No particular reason. I just thought it'd be fun to wander through some sightseeing areas related to the mermaid folklore. That's all. I see. Well, since you've traveled all the way to Japan to sightsee, I'd love to ask you some questions. Was there anything missing from the areas you visited that you think might have made your trip more enjoyable? What about those photo spots you put your face in? I know those, I love them. Really? Are they that interesting? They're a Japanese tourism classic. It would be nice to see more of them. Agreed. If I saw one, I would certainly take a photo with it. Oh, and please sell more of those little pennant flags. I can't resist them. I see. I truly appreciate the input, but perhaps things are fine as they are. Should you discover anything new regarding the area's mermaids, please let me know. Understood. We hope you'll do the same for us. Okay, so what now? Amazing, a brand new mermaid legend. The real question is why? Why? There's a long history of people making up legends to drive tourism. Such stories linger on, despite their veracity being entirely unverifiable. I suppose. Is something the matter? It's nothing. It is nothing. Well, it's about time for us to get going. Yes, of course. Thank you, and I apologize again for taking so much of your time. Actually, since you've come all the way to Japan. If anything happens to you during your vacation here, or you need any other help at all, please feel free to give me a call. I'm quite familiar with all sorts of businesses in the area. For example, I could put you in touch with someone should you be looking to interview AMA divers. Oh, really, that's very kind. You're not just saying this as a formality, are you? A free-spirited lad like myself will not hesitate to take you up on an offer like this. I will call you. Please do not hold back. I'll leave you two to your sightseeing. Please have a good time. I feel like we heard his name before. I can't remember where, though. If mermaids really did live on Taishima, it's certainly worth investigating. Okay. My bag, faithful travel companion of several decades. Dried flowers. Nothing else here. I think we just need to talk to her. To be frank, I didn't come here to simply travel around researching Isabe's mermaid legends. My real goal is to find an actual mermaid. Yes, I had a feeling that was it. So you already knew. Exorcists sure have some keen instincts. What will you do if you find a mermaid? Do you want to become immortal? I suppose. Might as well, considering all the trouble finding one will be. Your reasoning is unexpectedly uninspired. As simple though it may be, I find the idea quite romantic, akin to ascending to a new stage of humanity. Sure, I guess. I take it you disagree with my thinking, Cersei. I fail to see why my opinion should matter here. What you do is your decision to make. Though I'm not certain that an immortal can still be called human. Still, your decision is irrelevant to my duty, so I will not try to interfere. Actually, meeting an immortal would be a rare, once-in-a-lifetime chance. Please transcend humanity and let me examine you. Oh god. I'd prefer it if you didn't speak of me like a research specimen, but I'll overlook it for now. Though I do wonder if immortality would actually bring you any happiness. When you look at old folk tales, it tends to be less of a blessing and more of a curse. Jeez, don't say that after I already made up my mind and everything. Well, I'm sure you'll be alright. If you're tired of immortality, you need only embark on a journey like a modern-day Yao Bikuni. That's one way to look at it, though I think the nun part might be an issue. Well, I shouldn't get too far ahead of myself. There's no immortality to be had till I find mermaid flesh to bite into. Ew. So let's start there. Understood. I'm also quite interested in finding a mermaid myself. Okay. I found this map in the old family storage. It was left behind by my great-grandmother. If she's your great-grandmother, that would make her my great-grandmother's sister. I heard she was exiled from the Lunar Light family because of her eccentricities. That's correct. She was quite fond of the occult and amassed a number of suspicious curios over her lifetime. As a child, I loved searching through the storehouse that housed her collection. It was like a treasure hunt of wonders. A demon's tail, a yeti's bone, a book of black magic, Ogopogo's tooth, a piece of a UFO, a crystal skull. I cannot vouch for any of it was authentic, but it was still so exciting to look through. It's no exaggeration when I say that this very storehouse is what led me down the path of becoming a fantasy author. I suppose that's the kind of formative experience an occult writer needs. Just so, I have to thank my great-grandmother. She's the reason I can put food on the table. And among the items of that collection was this. I see, a mermaid mummy. Precisely. They were rather prevalent at sideshows and the like all over the world in the 19th century. Mermaid mummies from Japan were quite popular because of their high quality. A number of them even made their way to Europe. This one probably made its way to the family storage around that time. It was probably passed from one seller to another until it ended up in my great-grandmother's hands. How are you so sure it was made in Japan? Well, you see, I gave this mummy a thorough investigation. I even took it apart. Sure enough, it was made of wood and paper clay. But lo and behold, I also found this map inside. Truly, you found a map inside a mummy. Whoever made it all those years ago must have snuck the map inside. I doubt my great-grandmother had the slightest idea it was even in there. That's an incredible discovery. It's simply tantalizing, is it not? There's not a doubt in my mind that it will lead to a most thrilling discovery. Okay, maybe I should finish talking about the mermaids. Searching for just mermaid meat alone seems like a waste. Agreed. The best way to go about this would be to find a living human mermaid. And I have no doubt that this map will lead us to a place that's related to mermaids and immortality. This is quite exciting. Now this is what I call a true adventure. No matter the era, there's nothing better than a quest for the unknown. Okay, so we're done with that. So then, why did you call this a mermaid treasure map? Well, it was hidden inside a mermaid mummy, so it follows it must be a treasure map of sorts, no? I feel it's fair to surmise it must be something to do with immortality too. I see. Your enthusiasm has carried you quite a ways from home. I'm impressed. Thank you. I have no doubt our treasure lies somewhere in Issa Bay. What a shame there's no X to mark the spot. Indeed. And this leads us to our first conundrum. Any ideas how to decipher this map, Cersei? Put me on the spot, why don't you? But it does look like something is written here. Do you know what it says? Oh, that part. I actually did some research on that. Apparently it says search the 95th. Search the 95th? That sure makes it sound like it leads to a secret location of some sort. And it must be related to mermaids. Aren't you just itching to find it? You know it. I knew it. I'm counting on you to help me solve the map's riddle. Okay. Oh wait, I just remembered. You said you can dowse, no? Can't you just dowse for the treasure? Then we can skip this whole map and riddle business together. Okay, that sounds fun, Loopy. I apologize, but that is impossible. Truly, but why? Dowsing is usually used to find waterways, veins of ore, and other such things. My dowsing, however, can be used to find people and objects imbued with spiritual power. However, I must be familiar with the spiritual power that I'm looking for. I see. In other words, you wouldn't be able to find a treasure you've never seen or heard of. Yes. The distance from which I can detect the source also depends on how strong the spiritual power is. It's not quite the superpower I thought it was. I say we've had enough of a diversion. Let's get back to investigating your map. Well, we're trying. Have we talked about everything? Well, no. Apparently not. Let's take a good look. Let's pick it up. Oh. Did you notice something? It looks like something's written on the other side. I see. I knew I must have missed something. I should carefully hold the edge when I want to look at the other side. What? What's this? No. Take a close look at all the spots on the back of the map. Oh, those. I dismissed them as a bunch of stains. Do you really think that's all they are? Okay. It looks like the constellation, doesn't it? What if we say it's like somewhere around here? Okay, that might not be it. I mean, we can try one of the stars. Is it not, what's it called? Altari or something like that? Okay, so this is made in the Sengoku period. Over 400 years old. Okay, cool. So... So I'm gonna try all 3 of the locations. No, not there. Maybe tough to figure it out as it is now. Ah, finds a way to shine some light on the map. Oh, okay. Alright, that's cool. There's a... Okay, window... Right. What if we say it's here? This is the water, right? What makes you say so? Enter the name, oh shit, I forgot what it's called. I forgot what the name is. I can't remember. Oh god. I had to check. No, that's not it. I can't remember what it's called. I think the map is the riddle is definitely here. I can't remember what the name is. It was this one. Allow me to explain. You see, the 95th in the riddle must refer to the 95th tale in Tales of Issei. And the title of that tale is none other than Hikoboshi. There was a legend. I forgot what it was called. Next, note how the summer triangle's constellation is drawn on the back. The location of Hikoboshi, or Altair, corresponds to this very spot on the map. I should have expected nothing less. You truly are a genius. Nothing compares to the rush of a breakthrough. Let's keep riding this high. So what now? Even if we were to search the area on the map, it's in the middle of the sea. How are we supposed to search a place like that? Looking for an unknown object somewhere on a large swath of sea floor seems like an impossible task. You're right, that does sound difficult. We might have to ask our friendly CEO for help. He did give us the card. However, wouldn't that mean that we'd have to inform him on the map? No other way about it. In addition, should we find anything, I imagine he'll expect a share of the spoils. I really wanted to keep it all to myself. Sharing's the worst. I understand, but we have no other options. It's a shame, but I suppose you're right. We should contact him as soon as I can. Alright. Actually, folks, I think that today I'm gonna do a little bit of a shorter stream because I'm actually getting a bunch of videos ready for next week. I was planning on recording a little bit today as well. I have some guides to make, and I'm actually getting ready for a lot, and I mean a lot of WoW videos. So you can check them out on YouTube, basically on vPlay's MMO. There's going to be a ton of daily videos. I have a lot of recording and scripting to do today, so I was gonna cut the stream short a little bit today and not go super late because I still need my voice to record some of the scripts. So I'll be back tomorrow. Not sure what we're gonna do tomorrow. We might continue with this, and we might also continue with Lord of the Rings Online, as it is Sunday, and normally we do it on a Sunday. So we'll see. I think that will be all for now. In case we don't do Paranormasight tomorrow and we end up doing Lord of the Rings Online, I'll make sure to record the playthrough offline, and I'll publish it on my YouTube channel, so make sure to subscribe if you're enjoying the playthrough. If that happens, it'll be out in the next few days, so hope you look forward to that. And for today, that's gonna be it. Thank you, have a lovely rest of your day. Sorry for cutting the stream short a little bit today, but I'm so overwhelmed with the with videos and with pretty much everything that I need to do that you have no idea. Like, my to-do list is through the roof, and I can't wait to get through all of these guides, as the midnight release is in less than a week, and I have so much work to do, and weekend is my only time when I can actually dedicate myself to that. So I'll be ending now. Thank you so much again, and I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. I might do Lord of the Rings Online, so look forward to that as well, but I'm not sure yet. I'll let you know on Discord, so join Discord if you're new, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much, take care, and bye.